life.
We're live, people. Again, why does StreamYard keep doing that, man? It's too late. It's been a nice day. I've been here, made good content. But anyways, people, deluded, I'm back again. First things first, big up to you lot, whether you're on Twitch or YouTube. Make sure you're smashing the like button. Make sure you're commenting and joining any discussions and rising up any talking points. I hope you and everyone listening, you're doing well and safe. Big up everyone locked in. Now, as an Arsenal fan, it's never a boring day, a boring week, a boring hour, really. Now, you would have seen this morning, maybe, you know, I don't, again, until we see people holding shirts, it's another thing. But Fabrizio Romano kicked off what I feel was a frenzy, because as soon as he tweeted about Zubimendi allegedly giving an agreement and verbally having personal terms to join this club, all the other credible journalists, quote unquote, latched on it. And that's obviously been the thing. We're playing Liverpool tomorrow. And you lot know me, I'm very big on the standards. I don't mean this in a sense, but who really cares about tomorrow? Even me, of all people, saying that, it's quite deflating. I can never say that, because at the end of the day, it's a Premier League game. You might as well try and win games and create some sort of feel-good factor. It is a game at Anfield and against Liverpool, who are jubilant after winning the league. You have to give them that guard of honour. I've made my thoughts on that clear. But while they're kind of like drunk off the celebrations, obviously their manager will want them to win. We've got some serious sober minds, man. Like, what could have been, like what could have been in the champs, the Prem, if we signed certain things and done whatever. Unfortunately, for whatever we say with the season, the last 3 years has been a familiar kind of, at some point, like we've got here in it, where it's, I would say for most fans, it's not anger anymore. It is all of these things, but it's not anger. It's not anything. It's just, and that's the saddest thing, man, because the one thing about watching football, it's about dreaming. It's about belief. So yeah, man, smash everybody locked in, man. Merchant, Zubi, Arsenal PR, and Overlord, sorry. Do you know what? To be fair, it's kind of predictable, isn't it? Like, we go out again, none of these players have signed. We got the Champions League. You start hearing about movements being made in the transfer market. Most fans are at that stage, whether next season or not works out, but next season thing, you know, the Champions League. I wouldn't even say we stumbled on it, but we found ourselves with a good opportunity. Went to the semi-finals. God does give you food for thought, but fundamentally, there's no silverware, man. And it's. I know. Listen, the silverware conversation, we've had it, but pardon me, as we close to the end of the season, you're seeing finals everywhere, innit? Big up Arsenal's women. They've got their own Champions League final against Barcelona. We've obviously got the FA Cup, the Champs, the Europa. All the finals are being played, even down to the playoffs. Like, I watch all of it, love all of it. And I think the under-17s Euros is starting, people. So make sure you're here, man. So yeah, man, it is what it is. Smash everyone locked in. Smash the likes, everybody locked in, man. You're being mad. There's a comment, man. Come on. You know what? We're going up. We're not doing that anymore now. We're actually not doing that anymore, man. We're not doing that anymore. Does this mean 5 leaving? It's a bit of a weird one, man, where I look at it, because obviously the backdrop of this season, beyond the everything, this ain't everything, but we all know we need depth. We need depth. We need different options. We need the problems that actually depth provides as well. Like, for instance, in a positive way, Ben White or Timber. I know Arsenal fans, yeah, I like to do a lot of crying about wanting depth. The minute there's, and again, clearly not, but the minute there's them conversations, it's sell this one might not make it. But we need the luxury of having those problems. Like, we do not have that. And what I mean by that is, yeah, it's one thing. Obviously, we went out against PSG. Nobody here is an idiot. Rice went back in the 8. Marino went back up front. Partey came back into the side, and we looked a lot better. Obviously, the long throw galore thing was crazy, but we looked a lot better. So we need that. That's something we all know. Like I said, not everyone here is not stupid. We all know you know, you play the informed players or your stronger team, and you do a lot better. But also, like, you need to have different options. Like, there was no Partey in the first leg. Jorginho wasn't there. Marino's not looking like he can lock down midfield as much as he's playing as a false 9. You need that. I don't know for Partey, because I've said this before. Thomas Partey's been, had a great season from a personal point of view. Is, in terms of seeing a consistent, and he's obviously made mistakes, but in terms of seeing a consistent level from Thomas Partey, 2022-23, the first year we fought for the title, you could throw that one in. But I just feel, because of how we've grown as a team and all of this stuff, I rate this one a bit more. You've done it for a whole season. That's probably the story of Partey's career at Arsenal. Quality player, some good quality moments. Never really been fit, but he's been fit. A big reason as to why I think his form there is because he's been fit. And Partey's not a plug-in player. Like, you know, when Saka came back, obviously it was like he never left. You're probably seeing some performances now of someone that was out for 2-3 months, whatever have you. Partey came back in against Bournemouth, and if he played great, I probably ain't saying this, but when he went back in against Bournemouth after being suspended for the PSG game, stunk up the place. Now he wasn't amazing against PSG, no one was, and he wasn't terrible either. I think he was better in the first half. Yeah, man, I think marking could have been better, but you expect all of that. The minute Partey comes out, gets any sort of like the match rhythm disrupted in some sort of way. You don't really see the same Thomas Partey now. At the same time, you can see the man's age in it. Like, you do have to be a bit humble and be a bit of a squad player. And as I said, we need that problem. And that's where Zubimendi comes in. Is he coming to replace Jorginho's role? Is he genuinely coming in as the first choice midfielder of sorts next season? Letting Rice play in the 8. I still think we need a bit more midfield. And also the caveat: if you do get Thomas Partey to sign a new deal, and you have got Zubimendi, I still would. I'm being greedy. I still think you could do with another midfielder, but step in the right direction in terms of depth. For me, everything we do next season, and we all know, in theory, no football club that makes any transfer wants it to go wrong. But sometimes there's incompetence. Everything in the summer needs to make sense. Whether we go on and win leagues and whatnot, or we have a season exactly how we've had it now, everything needs to make sense. And what I mean by that is, Arteta, if you want a striker that can do all that false nine stuff, all means. But primary job, striker, put the ball in the back of the net. Winger, can you take on your man consistently? Is the decision making there? Can you make the difference in the final third? Even 50% of what Saka could do on the left as he's doing on the right hand side. Things need to make sense. We need our midfielders to contribute more goals. We all know who our captain is. Declan Rice, you're doing what you can. You're learning that. You could be shameless and say Marino technically is a midfielder. He's been scoring, but come on, everything needs to make sense, man. Respectfully, obviously, if you're playing great and forms out this well, do your thing. But if they are going to stay or go, but assuming they will stay, Havertz, you got to be a squad player. And I do not mean this in a disrespectful way for none of them. Marino, Havertz, Trossard, Martinelli, Odegaard, if you continue like this, not saying you should use your captaincy, but the emotion, you can't. We need guys that are consistent. Our most consistent players are probably collectively like the defensive, midfield, and forward unit. It's probably our defenders, and we've dropped off the levels defensively. You know, we're up there for conceding from set pieces now, which was blasphemous to even suggest that last year. So we've dropped off that. The points on the board is the only thing that matters. The potential league position that we could lose, not that we're happy about being second. The amount of points dropped from winning positions, the amount of injuries we've had to cope with, and that just being silly. Like, everything. I don't want to put too much pressure on Berta, but you've probably got to become. You have to be. Obviously, David Dean's here, and I'm not saying my man's going to be a legend and all of these things. I hope he can get into those conversations, but you've got to be the best thing this club's had since David Dean, in line with your remit. And I wonder the meeting point. Does he meet Arteta? Like, is he? This ain't going to make sense, but you see, like, if we look at like Cronkies, they obviously own Arsenal Football Club, and then below them, you've obviously got these lot. Whatever we have to say about Mikel Arteta as a manager, factoring that and looking at things as a club, they clearly rate Arteta. Like, he's getting them Champions League semi-final, positives and negatives around the fan base, merchandise. Everyone could, you know, he's got Arsenal to a point. That's their guy. Josh Kroenke appears, at least at face value, having a good relationship with him. Sacked the next manager in the next sport. Is Berta coming in to be like the sporting director version in their eyes of Arteta? Like, you're giving him everything he wants. It's got to be a level playing field, because obviously, for me anyways, this is just my opinion. The manager's got to come into a manager should always have his opinion on who he wants to bring in. But again, everything's got to make sense, man. I'm just painting a picture. Not that Newcastle obviously spent 80 million on Isaac, and I'm not trying to get the players or anything, but let's just assume we're in a dynamic where Isaac is costing 80 million, where we knew we needed a striker back then, and you've got Kai Havertz. Now, cool, you had a vision with him in midfield and whatnot. Can somebody just say, listen, I hear what you're doing with Havertz, but right now we need to do this? And that's, you know, where you look at Trossard potentially signing a new deal, whether I rate it or not, Gyökeres coming in, whether I rate it or not, Partey, it feels a bit, I'm not saying the club, but there can't be any coincidence. These things weren't really being said till Berta came in, whether it's paper nonsense or not. And it feels like some decisions are changing. And for me, with those players, whatever you say, it tells me it's kind of win now mode. Because again, we know the football, like in terms of building a team, there's so many talking points. We'll be here all night, people. But it's one thing saying buy everyone, sell everyone, and all the talking points that come with that. You are losing a bit of collective experience. Not that it's got us over the line, but you are losing a lot of an experience can come with, clearly it can come with age. Clearly it comes with stumbling every season. And I mean that in the most respectful way. You look at Arteta, you look at the young players and how they've grown and whatnot. But you face the prospect of Jorginho. Tierney, I'd imagine, is a model professional. You get where I'm going. There has to be some sort of restructuring. But if we are unfortunately in this situation next season, I can't let it be because of one effort. You need, again, I'm not on, and I've always said I feel sorry for the players because, yeah, you can paint the picture as romantic as it is, and there's injuries, and, players have stepped in and players that have divided opinions have stepped in, and that's all romantic. But when you strip all of that back, and you look at the PSG game, forget the dream of Real Madrid, because yes, I don't buy into this, pardon my language, bullshit that people are running. And I'm not saying there's not talking points about Carlo and Real Madrid, and I know the goalpost moves, but when Arsenal drew Real Madrid, it was all mad. We was going to get moved to the first game was meant to crumble. Second game was meant to crumble. We didn't. I'm not bragging about that. We didn't. And you're telling me it's the worst Real Madrid side, etc. Which, again, I think they're not really a team at this moment in time. But is that the best Arsenal team? And if you was ready to banter about us about that, as you are about PSG, and rightly so, we deserve to hold our lips, keep the same energy. But anyways, when you get away from the romance of the Real Madrid game and the dynamics at play there, and you get to PSG, where it's a completely different aspect, tactically, all of that stuff, but fundamentally, psychologically, I personally watched that game twice, both legs, so 4 times in general, and you just had the feeling of, there's multiple feelings. Clearly, it's not good enough. For me, when you remove the romance, you just haven't got the tools. Yeah, the tools are not there. There's so much tools we need to work from tactically, but there's not serious. We ain't got enough serious players. You ain't got no players that could change the game. We might have lost, but technically Saka scoring and missing that chance changed the game. We don't have enough of them. Yeah, we have a couple unlikely heroes and romance. So again, now it's about competencies now, man. We need the depth. You need guys who can score goals. You need as a team. Obviously, we've won games not playing well for 90 minutes and in a bad moment, but we also, if we're going to win a title or any championship, there has to also be an element of us criticizing the performance and the manager and whatever, but just getting over the line. Think about it logically. If we sat down Onslaught, Wenger, Sir Alex Ferguson, Conte, Jose, who else? Ranieri, because you won the Premier League. I'm just trying, Pellegrini. I'm trying to name every manager people that I think's won the Premier League. Yeah, but you get the point. If we sat all of them down and they broke 38 games down, there's probably a couple where their tactics have let them down, and the managers bailed them out, and vice versa. But there's also, yeah, we were shit Saturday. Like, yeah, we needed to defend better, and we conceded a penalty and whatever, but we made it happen. Just quickly, 2 goals out of nowhere, go back to the drawing board, but we got points on the board. We need to exhaust every option. It's not easy to do, but it's clear what the football club needs to do. Like, it really is. It really is. It really is. Do you want to keep being brides or get over the line? And credit to every team that's in the final, not us. Even the pagans down the road, like, we hate them in that, but and we all know the moments that led to it. But you've got to seize the opportunities, man. Like, yeah, we can talk good or bad about the old days and the past. We actually don't know where the future lies, as good, as bright, or as negative, or as in between. Because there are an element of Arsenal fans who think it is just going to be more of the same, and I can't really blame them. They're not necessarily happy or sad. This is just the regime. It never feels like as a football club we seize the current moment, like the present. I can't tell you if at any point, God forbid, I felt like I was going to vomit, but I have to say it. If Spurs fans and United fans, well, Chelsea, the Conference League is a bit different. Liverpool with the league, Crystal Palace in an FA Cup, Newcastle, whatever. I very much doubt, yeah, if you spoke to any of those fans, let alone the players. Obviously, you want to win stuff and whatever, but I very much doubt if any of the objectives these lot have hit or anything they've won, if at any point that was the initial remit. But at some point, they've been playing well, they've been doing whatever, and they found the moment. And for me, I look at I think the Premier League just comes down to incompetence. I really do. I think if I had to strip the Premier League, the good, the bad, the ugly, what I'm seeing as what I think we had last previous seasons and how we're playing, let alone the points on the board, unacceptable, abysmal effort. Yeah, I sound spoiled because we could get Champions League and all that stuff, but abysmal. Champions League, mixed feelings. It kind of tilts into the summer market as to why I think the Prem went wrong amongst other things, but ain't got the stardust and got to a semi-final. From you get to a semi-final, I'm not saying we could have got to the final, God forbid, and lost, but he didn't seize that. Newcastle bullied us, they were better than us, but do I feel a sense of regret across the two legs? The second leg, 100%, yeah. So it's like, and PSG, I felt tactically they outdone us, they did whatever, but it weren't embarrassing. I sound like a hypocrite because on one hand, I think our best to a degree in the remit of the game, like us trying our best to chase the game. And again, this is why I got sympathy for the players because I just think it's their man are different tactically, they're more seasoned, their thing is wavy, plus the players are just better, bro. It's not the same opportunity, it's not the same incidences. But Odegaard shot, Fabian Ruiz's shot, you know, Dembele punishing you in the first leg, and all of the other stuff in between. You need better. I'm not expecting to wake up and we've got a million great players, but you got to a point now where I think a lot of it is centered around ability, to the point where I actually think certain players' relationships on the pitch might be harmed. Because if you had that long-term right-sided six, and obviously you got fit Timber, you got like Saka as well, they can build their relationship on that side, and so on and so forth, man. You don't, the longer you don't get that left winger, if Lewis Skelly's going to be our left back, you're not allowing them to do that. So how much better could we have been? Busy Berta, broski, busy Berta, man. In Berta we trust, man. Get your comments in, smash the like button. You lot just became an improv Arsenal therapy, man. But I hope that's got everyone warm, man. So yeah, smash the like button. We'll get into the press conference and all of that jazz after. But yeah, man, any other talking points? Yeah, man. Have we just forgotten about Napan, just leaving him to Villa? Probably. I think the Napan thing just comes down to, I think Villa just is more of a better project for him as a young player, really. Maybe we just didn't convince, because there must be an element of footballers, like you're speaking to Arsenal, City, this one, that one, and you think they're all good, but that one's pitch just might have sounded better. But yeah, it does. It is that stage of being PRE, man. Do we want to keep our undefeated record versus the top six? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And again, that's something to play for. It's been nice to, and even that, like, I'm not expecting to be undefeated against the top six forever, but it's been bloody good recently against the top six. Remember them when them games there used to be a write-off, and we've bullied a couple teams. This is why we need to start winning. This is why people hate us more, because we're not dead. We've got problems. Our biggest issue is getting over the line, but we are not. We let ourselves down. We're not a soft touch. Like if we cut all of the crap around, like banter, all of this stuff, Arsenal's not an easy game. I'm not saying we're the biggest bad bullies, whatever. But when you strip it back, other managers are rating our thing and all of these things. So let's stop wasting this. Let's stop wasting this. We're a good team. I want to be a great team. Great teams get things over the line. They win stuff. You give us, and I mean this in the most respectful way, you'll give us the top six. You get us to a better level. I can't say I predicted beating Real Madrid in the fashion and everything in between and Rice scoring 2 goals, but you'll give us them games. But again, and for yourselves more than anything. And for yourselves. Unfortunately, logically speaking, when it's all said and done, and I guess in these guys' nice cars, and you're driving home from, obviously we played in France in the second leg, but you're out against whatever team, or Arsenal versus Everton last game of the season. You're driving home. It's got to be a horrible feeling when it's just you and your playlist. You're vexed going home. Kids running up to you, they want to play because obviously they're kids. Your heart's not in it because it's thinking about the game. It can't be a nice feeling. It can't be. It's always a bittersweet thing. And we want it to be sweet. But yeah, man. 206 live right now. Let's hit 100 likes with quickness. Come on, appreciative to those of you who have, man. Appreciate that. Big up DG chick snoring next to me. Glad you're on, bro. Better wake her up, boy. Go for drinks or something, man. Season to season teams figure teams out. Arteta's tactics just like Pep. Everybody should be figuring things out, because it's that double-edged sword. When you become known for certain things, where it's been the set pieces, the low blocks, whatever, people are going to clock that. But you're right in the sense that we need to evolve. Again, tactically, there's bare things. Because again, I think recruitment has a hell of a lot to do with how we progress as a team. And I don't mean this in a rude way. But whatever transfer you would love at Arsenal, like let's a dream world. We got Isaac, we got Carrot Skeeler, Zubimendi, because he seems to be the guy. He's here on top of the quality players. If you think just slapping them on the football pitch and the vast majority of our fortunes are changed, I think you're incredibly naive, because you're telling me about breaking down low blocks. You can have the players. What's going on? We were difficult to defend against City, so we know how to deploy a defensive low block. Why don't we know to pick the locks? Because whatever we do to work on being good defensively generally, shouldn't we just, isn't there something around teams that might not be doing that in ways to exploit it? Problem is Arteta doesn't have a plan B and we suffer because of a small squad. Nasty double-edged sword. But then the frustrating thing for me as a fan of all aspects of the club is really nothing that's happened this year beyond the obvious, yeah, is anything that we ain't seen before or anything that wasn't a talking point. It feels like and I'm not saying again, it just feels like a ticking time bomb. Like for me, I'd like to think I'm quite fair. If me and you lot here are not having discussions around depth and we actively had the depth we think we need or what if fans drew a consensus on, and God forbid these injury stuff still happen, you just have to say fair enough. You know what? That is actually rotten luck. We've clearly had bad luck. But how much of it is quote unquote preventable? We came into the season knowing about this. Players have been running, and I actually think beyond the obvious, yeah, a lot of the times we drop dumb points. Our players are looking knackered, and that's not an excuse. But if nothing changes, nothing changes. And clearly we've known this. We've known about the depth. We've known about positions that need to be identified. We know about scoring goals, bigger squad, game tactics, game management. None of these things are anything new. So yeah, man. It's all a learning curve, man. But you actually have to want to learn the lesson, man, because I'm a genuine believer that the universe will keep showing you the same lesson in your life. And I guess football's the same until you actually learn from it. Until you actually learn what you need to learn, you're going to keep having this. No two seasons are alike, but I guess of all aspects, like I'm talking more from a fan hoping for recruitment point of view. But is there something around the rehab and how the players have been taking care of themselves and, you know, all sorts of stuff that these lot are paid for, man? People are paid mad money to be doing all these guys. What these guys do. Pause. Like you got all these guys who like physios and sleep patterns and coaches. It's you lot's job to figure it out, man. Big up yourself, Emmanuel. Don't know why the comments not coming up. There we go. Zubimendi was weak versus United. Hope he don't play like that. Maybe he had a bad game, but I think he's more of a cultural six. Dominate possession and all of that kind of stuff. I do think we could do with a more physical, like a younger party. I think we need another physical one in midfield. If we addressed midfield like stay with me, the people that are going to play next to Declan Rice or in place of Declan Rice, we signed the attacking players we needed to do. I think we need a bit of a touch up defensively. I think could do with maybe two, but at least one defensive reinforcement. Sort out the goalie. If you did all of the goalie situation, if you did all of that for me, and there's money going. That number 10 position. Max Dolman, young man, we're gonna, slow cook you to one day be in that role. We want to see get some minutes. Odegaard, you're playing there. Is there scope for someone that can occupy that position if things are going left? All we are doing with the Zubimendi deal is renewing a lost profile from the squad in Jorginho. It's neither a bad signing nor a ceiling raiser. It's simply squad maintenance. But hey, that's one step. I just want to not cry and complain about quality and quantity in the past the summer, because it's unacceptable. At least I know things happen, but I don't think there's any excuse to mess about with midfield and up front in particular. I think it's unacceptable not to get a left winger, and I'm more speaking as a spoiled brat kind of thing, but I might allow you for a left winger. I might let you off, but striker has to be there. Dare I say a couple of midfielders. I don't understand what people are scared about when it comes to Zubimendi. Listen, he's not going to be the first nor the last player that divides opinion, but he's a player, especially with social media. There's going to be agendas. The social media fans are a bit weird in comparison to normal ones. But if you're a Liverpool fan, Zubimendi's probably made an enemy of you in life, because he ran you around the houses last week. He's joining Arsenal and the stuff that comes with that. United could be shameless. He did well. I mean, the whole of Sociedad were terrible against United. In fact, they're actually playing terrible right now. I don't know if Zubimendi's playing, but I saw on my phone is it Skov? Can't remember his name. I think he actually used to play for them. He scored a hat-trick in like 5 minutes. Thoughts on El Canus? like the comment previously said, I think that's a squad maintenance thing. I'm on it. I like him, man. I think, you know, them sort of players you always got time for, in it. Technically proficient, get bums off seats, scored against Spurs, likes to shoot, 20, could do something here. Scope to get better. You could do something here. I don't really buy that though, if I'm honest with you. I think it screams a bit Fabio Vieira in the club's mind. Any chance to leave believes it's a big possibility. Now, this would probably be the most annoying summer to leave because we've already got to identify a lot of things, and to put that on the list would get a bit mad. But everything's on the table. We hope he commits his future, but everything's on the table with Mr. William Saliba in it. And being devil's advocate, if you were speaking to him for the people, it's getting hot. Let me take my hood off. But hopefully you can still hear me. Obviously, let's just assume he was talking to him for the best part of a year and he's moving shaky. I just wonder, when is the cutoff point? Like, what point does it get beyond? It's irrelevant how good you are and all of that stuff. You're evidently leaving. We face the prospect of you leaving for free, and we know how Real Madrid move in that regard. Or we bite the bullet. We might not be able to get someone better than you. We do what needs to be done. When is that? Obviously, I don't think it's this summer, but is it this summer? Is it the summer of 2026? Or do you run his contract down until 20? Do you let him run his deal down into the last year? And whether you can convince him or not, I don't know. Yes, DG. If you wasn't a YouTuber, would you watch the rest of the games this season? I'm an Arsenal fan before as anything. Yeah, good or bad. Yeah, why not, man? Liverpool fans moving mad. Man didn't pick you. Just move on. Zubimendi is gonna push out like our captain, Berta. What? It's calm, man. It's calm, man. Positivity. Big up DJ and the delegate. Smash the likes as you enter, people. Come on, my boy. Cunha and Rodrigo would transform the attack. Gyökeres is risky and Nico Williams is risky. To be fair, every signing's a risk because I think, you know, Rodrigo, quality player, whatever we have to say. He wouldn't be the first nor the last big money signing that didn't work out if that was the case. Cunha the same, like all the signings. Gyökeres is risky. Nico Williams is risky. Everything presents a risk, but if maybe not necessarily in terms of personnel, but maybe the areas you've identified, as we've also seen, not doing anything is risky. Like, pick your poison type thing, man. Hayden Hackney's a baller, man. He's linked with a couple of Italian clubs, isn't it? There's some windows a 0 out of 10. If we don't sign Gyökeres, it's so blatantly obvious that's what we miss. I think he's playing against Benfica as we speak. Don't know no clue on if there was goals and all of that. Get rid of the manager before you sign anyone. To be honest with you, I guess until you win stuff in line with stuff, that's going to be a talking point. We're getting a midfielder. They needed to announce striker, not a midfielder again, not even PR fam. To be fair with you, there must be some confidence the deal gets done, and especially with, you know, I know Ornstein ain't really said nothing, but the more, you know, Sammy Mokbels, Fabrizio Romanos, they've said things. But to me as a fan, has anyone seen him holding the shirt? Anyone seen any interviews with Berta and Zubimendi or Arteta in him? Till that happens, it just remains a talking point here. Subscribe if you're new here, by the way, people. And then we just keep it moving in that regards. Did we put an obligation on Sambi's loan? I don't believe so. So it's an option to buy. And you can already see the language coming out. Like Sevilla are not sure to activate it. They want to negotiate the clause lower. We knew they were going to do that. And you're them, I rate it. Hustling us, man. But there's a lot for Berta to do and his team, man. This Jason Ito, it sounds mad. We're going to need you, you know. When Berta tells you to call this guy and that guy, and you just do as I say, you're gonna need to be there, man. I don't understand. Oh, sorry, saw that already. You just need to get over the line, man. I have marked the mates who called me out when we lost. I had to block certain, man. Go hold your licks, man. You have to hold your licks. Do you prefer a 6 or an 8? I'm not sold on Rice as an 8. In an ideal world, because I'm a bit weird though, man. I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm being converted. I think I've been converted on the Rice in the 8 still. I'm not gonna lie to you. That I still think you could play 6, still kind of stand on that. Don't really want to see you admittedly play 6 in a sense. Like how it kind of was in the first leg with PSG, because you did look a bit like, oh, you're by yourself. But I like him in the 8, you know. I know he can. I still have concerns whether you're going to get the amount of goals. I love Rice. I love what he brings. But I'm a bit weird in that. I would like to see 2 8s. Like, bro. Arteta don't want creativity. So, like that, or them kind of creative players, in my opinion. So, I would look like, Could you get a Morgan Rogers kind of profile next to him? And you still got your Zubimendi here and there. Could you do that? There's always the luxury of Rice playing as a 6. So I naturally want an 8 when I'm asked that question, but I think you need a 6, which I'm gonna get allegedly with Zubimendi, but I think we need a Caicedo, Belemba kind of, if not getting hung up on 6s and 8s, just central midfield, if you kind of catch where I'm going with that. That Fabrizio guy just announced Gyökeres to Arsenal. I'm just kidding, man. You're silly, man. If fans can compartmentalize, that was crazy. The different competitions, our Champions League campaign this year has been good and an improvement from last year. Last year was an improvement as well. But I just, again, I think people would have allowed the, you know what? Obviously, if we made a big fight of the league or potentially got the league over the line with the Champions League, I think many people would have just said, all right, cool. I think people can be a bit hypocritical where the league and FA Cups are concerned, because we need to win a thing, and that's something we say amongst ourselves. But had we have won a League Cup and FA Cup or been in those finals, which I want to be in, people would say it's not necessarily good enough. But at least it's a thing where it's like, all right, like he brought something. I think you've not done that. There's the obvious frustrations coming into the season. You've not done that. Champions League, bit of hope. Can we kind of write a good season? All the other indirect talking points. I think with the Champions League, or people being vexed about us not winning the Champions League, there's plenty of talking points behind that. But I think it's more of an overspill of emotions, and rightly so, really and truly, because from what you lot have done for the large parts of these 3 years, and come up short. Oh, no, you lot sleep at night. Now, nothing's guaranteed, but you had a chance, man. And you look good, man. DG just watched Rance's Twitch stream. He said you and him are going to do joint reaction on Pop the Balloon. Yeah, man, soon land, man. Yeah, man, why not? We indirectly speak about it on the streams anyway, so why not? Why not? It makes sense. It makes complete sense. No more inverted left backs, please. Let Calafiori board those forward next season. Again, we need balance. I'm on that, Arteta. If you want to do traditional left backs, inverted, do that. But sometimes when these things are not working, or we need to do other things, do what needs to be done. Kind of going back to what someone said about plan B, we need to be fluid like water. That sounded wavy, but I heard that in the movie. Where is that? Someone said that. I don't want Spurs United to win the Europa. Is there a way they can both lose? Unfortunately not. Our fan base is bare reactionary. If we was Liverpool, they'd expect a PL and expect trophy. Otherwise, it's regression, and they would want Slot sacked. I'm not sure about that, my boy. Calafiori is more a centre-back. Not the type of 6 we need. Needing a Gilberto type engine and steely presence at the base of midfield, in my opinion. Big up, everyone. Hey, you've articulated it almost perfectly, really, what I'm trying to say. Yeah, man. But again, because I just think with Zubimendi, and obviously interception, we all like, he could do the interception, the passing, smart midfielder. I actually like him a lot. We all saw how he was in the Euros final. But yeah, man, I think we need a bit more still. His interceptions are more thinking. Surprisingly, I don't know about now, but the last time I did like a tactical video, at the time, it's somewhere on my YouTube channel, he was actually up there for headers. Now, there's a lot of them things without context, but yeah, man, I think he's more with the ball kind of 6 rather than when we're out of possession or in terms of profile. But get the guys through the door, man. I say we sell Kivior and use Calafiori as backup to Gabriel, then sign Hato at left back. I hear it. But I can't lie, man. I'm not against keeping Kivior in terms of depth. I hear if you argue the point that his stock's probably never been higher, he might want to leave. I do think there is an element, regardless of what we need to do in terms of incomings, of selling and kind of making a profit. We're going to get into all of these things, but we've already seen the rumors that Arsenal estimate, and these are just rumors, but they estimate to try and make 80 million in terms of outgoings. Last year, I know we didn't buy anyone, but so we must have got like 90 or 100. What, Ramsdale and Ketio, Smith Rowe, Mika Bereth, even though it was peanuts for us. Give this man everything he wants. I don't want any excuses next season. I hear that, but I have a caveat. You can't get everything you want. In terms of the profile, like striker, midfielder, like broad profile, yeah, you can't get everything you want because you've done good for us, but you clearly wanted Havertz. Maybe not at 65 million. I don't know. Maybe Edu zanged himself. I don't know. Maybe if Edu at the time said to Arteta, you really want Havertz, this is how much it's going to cost. And he said, yeah. So you wanted a midfielder or a striker or a kind of Swiss Army knife. You can have that, but we need some competencies. Like, I think we need to go back to the drawing board. Like, really, if I'm honest with you, Kivior did his thing. I don't mind Kivior staying in terms of depth, and I think we need to hold on to it. I don't think our defensive depth is as solid as everyone makes out in terms of the stress test of no injuries and whatnot. With the talking points around people departing and actually Tierney just being a body and leaving as well. I think Antonio Nusa is the winger we should be targeting. Nico Williams is a bit too rash. Nusa is the guy. Can get a good reference from Odegaard. Guys, we are officially negotiating with Party for a new deal. So what does that do for Zubi, who comes out? Rice, F no. So that only leaves Odegaard midfield of Rice, Party. Boy. Party's replacement should have been Fabinho, but he left for nah, big up Fabinho, but not at the moment. But he left for Saudi. Similar players are Paredes and Bentancur, but don't think they will join Arsenal. I like Frimpong, but defensively, I don't think we need that, man. I actually think if United played wing backs, you'd bang there. They do, so you'd bang there. And I know Frimpong's not going to get an inter move, but if I was a top level fullback, I would have been a bit jealous of Denzel Dumfries for Inter, really. Out, Tomiyasu, Kivio, Zinchenko in, Hato, Diamande. Diamande is going to cost top whack, though, man. And one more year for Tommy, man. One more, trust me. 1 year. He's not going to fail us next year, man. Tomiyasu, please, man. Got a lot of time for you, and I'm sure a lot of you do as well. But, bro, 6 minutes of Premier League football is mad. I know it's depressing. You don't want to be injured in that, but I really got a leg to stand on if players, if many people are going, you know what, we like Tommy, you're a good player, but we never see you, mate. And to be fair, you're not good. Like, there's no selling Gabriel Jesus and Tomiyasu. They're injured now. I'm sure injured players have been flogged before. Bro, Tomiyasu as part of the squad can help us out a lot. I'm telling you, Tomiyasu against PSG, it might not have made a difference. We might not have won, but they are the games in terms of game management. Tomiyasu against Karatsky. Tomiyasu would have had a job yesterday. Well, I said yesterday. See, I'm still living in a trance, but you get the point. Mohamed Salah's won bare stuff. Great player. But I bet you every now and again he gets nightmares of Tomiyasu. Am I shameless? 100%. You lot are forgetting that the man lacks physical presence, and the PL requires that for a DM. And again, La Liga is more of a tactical play than physical. So that's why he was playing good. I mean, boy, Tomiyasu is our John Stones. Probably see John Stones a lot more. Eze has to come, could be a game changer. Must stay away from Tesco, St. Maxim, and Nico Williams. Forget Leao, too inconsistent. We should have brought Cara or Bueno. Yildiz at Juventus is the winger to look at. He's cold, man. I said it before. I just think he would be seen as more of a golden boy in Turkish football, or the wider kind of how Turkish football is viewed if it wasn't for Arda Güler. I'd love Arda Güler, but it seems like he's going to get an opportunity to make a name for himself. Pardon me. At Real Madrid. Guys like Eze, it's just money. Tomiyasu is part of the squad. What evidence do you have that he can be a part of the squad? He's never fit. You're a horrible man. You know that. Appreciate you, boy, but you're a horrible man. You know what you did. Smash that like, fam. PSG made him captain when he was just out on loan. Who? Appreciate you, law, man. To some people, I'm spitting facts. To some people, I'm chatting shit, man. Appreciate you. PSG, Barca, and Inter all playing attacking fullback seems to be working right now. True. Angela Stilo, Hayden Hackney over Zubimendi any day. Zubi is too overhyped. Odegaard needs a summer in the gym and a striker that makes runs in behind for him to find. I hear you, John, but is that running? Because some of you say Odegaard's not passing, and we know there's dynamics at play here, but a lot of you are vexed saying Odegaard, his creativity might be overrated. He don't play the final balls and whatnot. Now, of course, there might be other players that he thinks can get on the end of them and whatnot. But if you're saying he's not doing that currently, how can we sit here and say, oh, he needs this and that? And Arsenal fans, we've been there, man. It's scary. You don't know how much I love Martinelli. But one thing that I kind of stopped is there was a point I was with that rhetoric of he needs a left back, centre mid. We're not fixing up the left hand side. He'll be lit. It clearly went beyond that. Once we start getting into he needs this and he needs that, you don't know how much I love Ozil. That was one thing. Once they're in them conversations, it don't look good, man. I understand frustrations, but people also forget we have no divine right to win anything, especially when many other good teams want them to, which is true, but we don't always put our best foot forward, which is where I think the frustration comes from. Odegaard can't be our only attacking midfielder. Kai made pushed us, I think you mean move, pushed us into regression. Arteta made a mistake, but you know what I mean? Boy, Odegaard off the books. Give someone decent his wages. He's doing nothing. Needs his contract terminated. That's emotional. Wild take, but I would prefer Spurs to win the Europa so that United don't get a boost for their rebuild. Khaled, put down the crack pipe, man. What? Never that. Never that. Never that. Never that. Even if Spurs, like if there was some world where Arsenal are about to get relegated, but somehow if Spurs win against some other team and we don't get relegated, I say I'm looking forward to playing 40 games this season. Less of that. And plus, United are not going to, well, if you're hammering, which he keeps saying, he said they're the worst, they could be the worst Man United team in history, and it don't really matter if we win the Europa League in that sense. It's not really going to affect them like that. And I'd just rather hear the nonsense from United fans. I've heard it before. Oh, even in our worst season, we still win something. Okay. You don't need to prove you're the bullies anymore, man. Like, went from fighting Kimbo Slice and that to beating up a car attendant. Like, come on, man. I hear it, United. I'm sorry. We ain't got nothing. I'd rather be in those conversations. We're a much better team out of possession than with this season, so Zumbi makes sense. But the excitement of watching Arsenal is all gone. I can't believe Zubi got bossed off by a geriatric Casemiro. Maybe that was an off game, but it didn't look good. It didn't look good. Do you think Zubimendi has the strength to handle the hustle and bustle of the Premier League? We're going to find out. We're going to find out. I'm not sure about Zubi signing. We all know every signing Arsenal make must serve their time as a left back. Yeah, it was Bruce Lee, to be fair, to go back to the question I asked earlier. Calafiori is more of a centre back. I hear you, but I actually think I got more questions of you defensively, even though I like you. And I know if you're not a left back, like Kivio's looking a lot stronger with game time at centre half. But if I'm complaining about your level of defending or certain aspects at left back, centre half, I like Calafiori though, man. I got time for him. Have to say, I'm baffled by these reports of a new 4-year deal for Trossard. He's 30 years old. I would have thought now's the time to cash in. It can't be 4 years. Seriously. 4. Big up. You know what? If Trossard somehow gets a 4-year deal and decent wages, quite fair play at 30 years of age. Surely it can't be 4 years, man. It don't make sense. Respectfully to Trossard, it doesn't make sense. Hopefully it's 2. Shout out Shirley, or not shout out Shirley, man. Make sure you check out the content I did with Shirley earlier today. It's quite rude and disrespectful. DG, would you take the captaincy from Odegaard? Not at this current moment in time. Partey is better than Zubi, weak replacement. Just has to show us something. Rice has always been an 8 in style, not someone who can pass between the lines and carries the ball like an 8 and is a goal for it. I can't lie, I just think Rice is a centre midfielder, you know. He reminds me of a throwback centre mid, like just a centre mid, man. You know, when you need to defend, when you need to try to score, just chat the lad. The only ceiling raising improvements we can make is at centre forward and left wing. Fans will argue at 10-2, but I think Odegaard, Ranieri, and not common Dolman is enough. Oh, this is obviously factoring in the Zubimendi signing. I mean, if there's money, I couldn't tell you who, but it'd be nice to have a wavy midfielder. Gyökeres is risky, yet this fan base believe in Havertz. Boy, Sambi to Saudi just makes sense. Provided that, you know, Saudi is stupid enough to buy him, innit? Jonathan David on the free should have happened regardless of who is or isn't signed. Give it a rest with that, man. You're still trying to flog your client. Personal preference is Gyökeres, Lookman, and Barella. Dream chasing, Barella, though. Lovely signing in theory, dream chasing. Cunha is objectively more risky because this is his first season exploding. He actually had a decent season last year, but he wasn't flavor of the month. Lots of attackers that came from Portuguese league failed. But people fell from everywhere, though, man. People, and I must admit, I am becoming one of those fans a little bit. Like, it's not my money, spend the player, whatever, in it. But everybody's got a risk. Obviously, I think we're not going to get Isaac, of course, but I think that's the risk-free one if we could get him. But at the end of the day, what if he made a big money signing and he stunk up the place? With Sesko, we know he's young. Are you going to do it? When are you going to deliver? Gyökeres, Portuguese league, blah, blah, blah. You know, even if Ollie Watkins, there's talking points. All of them are going to have some sort of talking points behind them. Every signing. Do you think Arteta will push Odegaard to the side next season if he carries on playing like this? Well, if he carry on playing like this and certain market opportunities become available or certain young players state that claim, things happen, innit? You might become a squad player. I know he's got the quality to come back, but it's but it's undroppable in Arteta's eyes being the captain. I think being the captain, and ironically, whatever Arteta wants tactically, Odegaard's one of his first linchpins. Your fans gassing up your season failure. I think it's BS about us having to sell to buy. There's too many assets on loan and other assets that must be sold before someone we don't want gets sold, especially if we're apparently not in any issues with PSR. To which, if we are having that mentality, it's because literally we want to do it. There's no, our hands are not being forced. People are so obsessed on who our captain is. It doesn't matter where's the armband. Rice and Big Gabby still doing captain stuff regardless. What I would say to Odegaard, not that it wouldn't become a talking point anymore, just start playing well again, bro. Because let's be honest, a lot of people don't give a I'm not. There's a lot of genuine talking points around Odegaard and the captaincy, but a lot of people don't give a flying monkeys. If he was getting, and this is why you need to do it. If he was getting goals and assists, now it's very different because I think Bruno's more on the try hard, die hard thing, and Odegaard's more of a pussycat. But I'm sure Man United fans at some point must have been throughout the season or whatever his time. Why is Bruno captain? He's stinking up the place. Either way, he's put on his big boy pants and he's making it happen. And I'm sure everybody is now, because football fans are fickle. All of them are fickle. He's a leader. He's amazing. He's this, that, and the third. But Arsenal need forwards and midfielders more than worry about defense, in my opinion. I can't lie. I hear you. And I guess I'm a hypocrite because if, God forbid, but if we only got in one signing, I would, as much as it's other areas, I would like it to be a proper number 9. And maybe I'm spoiled, bro, but I think we've gone past that. I'm not saying we're going to do anything, but I think we need, that's one thing. Like, even when we signed Partey, remember we was linked with Alwa and there was kind of the 8 and the 6 debate. We only knew we was going to bring in one and there was that. I think we've gone past that. You know, you need to get everything. As silly as that sounds, I think you need to get everything. There's no focus on this and we can kick that problem up the curb. You need to do everything. Needs to do everything. If we got Leao, Gyökeres and Zubi, it would be a good window. Would like someone who can compete with Odegaard. But DG ain't gonna lie, your board sure know how to put your fans in the pocket. Announcing the sign of Zubi a few days after complete disappointment season, and they made this announcement to get. And to be fair, the most ironic thing is it's not been thingied. I'm hearing you have to sell one of your centre backs to fund a big striker deal. I can't lie, I don't believe that. The key to a successful season is to have new signings on board before preseason starts. We get Zubi and keep Partey, then we can rotate and avoid the same excuse year after year. Next, Gyökeres. Not even banter, but Casemiro cooked Zubimendi a few months ago. It's gonna have to keep going, man. Unless it happens in Arsenal shirt, I didn't see it, man. Skorloff, yeah, that's his name. He got 4. Shout out to him. Mazza against his old club, he must have celebrated. Word to Arshavin. I'd like Arteta to ditch the inverted left back, push the fullbacks up, and let the midfield 3 dominate the game like PSG and Barca. After you're a football romantic like myself, I hear it. Of course, the club decides to bring in a top sporting director after making bad signings in positions where we need quality the most. Like, we need our Michael Edwards. We need our new somewhat David Dean. We need someone to take that mantelpiece and pattern up now, really and truly, because you're at a very critical juncture, is how I'll put it. Liverpool fans moving mad. Man didn't pick you, just move on. Zubi is only the first signing of more, hopefully. I need official confirmation, though. I need official confirmation. El Canusa, I'll be there no matter what. These Madrid man signed Mbappe just to go out to Arsenal. Shameless. Didn't United midfield cook us at Old Trafford as well? I can't lie. I see Thingy get cooked. Saliba. I'm not gonna mention against who, but Rice nicked a point for us because you know these them fans. Yeah, because we put an end to the set piece debate easily on our first penalty free kick taker. Emmanuel, chill out, man. It's not our fault, bro. It's cool, man. It's cool, bro. Relax, Emmanuel. You still on about that? We all lost to PSG. We're all vexed. We're all talking about next season. We're not even watching what happened with Real Madrid. You know what happened with Lewis Kelly? DJ freaked me out hearing Clive and them lot call you CJ on Talksport. I wonder who the hell they were talking about. That man's name is DG. To be fair, my name actually is CJ, but I hear it. Appreciate you, Kwame, man. It is nice, isn't it? Fabrizio Romano reported Zubi agreed. I hear it, but again, bro, I need to see shirts. Because, of course, there's a reason Romano, Ornstein, this one, that one. They've got to where they've got, especially talking around transfer news. But how many times have we seen all of these guys say things are happening and for whatever reason, other things go left? I'm not saying that's the case. This is why I just need to see people with shirts. DG making it big, getting Madrid fans having a hate along. Martinelli could be the sacrificial lamb. Not happy about that. I hear that, but Martinelli's not making bread. Like, you could argue in today's day and age where if Garnacho is somehow going for 70, and I think Martinelli and Garnacho are like two pieces of the same puzzle, can you get that similar sort of feel? We all know it's how you hustle. It's nothing to do with ability, but then at the same time, you got to be mad to spend any of that on Nelly. 30, 40 million in this current form, and obviously the scope that he could get better and all of that kind of jazz, which is still a profit. Then we buy Martinelli for like 6 million. Ornstein been saying for time we're getting Zubi. It is true, but still, man. Gabriel Magalhaes world-class propaganda is lacking. He don't fit the image, man. We would never sell Wanyeri. Martinelli's time's up. Keep the faith, Cons, man. Keep the faith. Squad player, man. There's a role here. Martinelli, I need to see goals, man. Martinelli, I thought we made it out the hood in 2022-23. I'm not going to lie. I knew this day was going to come, but I couldn't believe my eyes. Fans were saying, has he got more potential than Zachary? Oh, man. Has Fabrizio ever flopped to here we go? I don't know. But he must have done the here we go for Zubimendi to Liverpool. And obviously, because we saw how that U-turned, he must have. Zubimendi came on to replace Rodri in the Euros and dominated. That doesn't even make sense. How can Casemiro cook Zubimendi? RM. The game is the game, man. You know what they're going to say. Before the second leg against PSG, most fans were speaking on extending Partey, interested in how things could change after one game and one signing. Football fans are fickle, man. They cried for Partey. Like, when we get him against PSG, it's going to be different. If you were forced to sell a player between these three, Gabriel Magalhaes, Martinelli, Wanyeri. Define selling. What do you mean by selling? Because in life, you're always selling. Arteta has to sell a project to potential players and also the extension of whatever project we're doing to, convince the sackers and whatnot to sign new deals. So are you speaking about that? Or are you talking about transfers? It's very different because, they've all got very different, many unique qualities. Like, I'm almost lost for words. Like, Gabriel Magalhaes is a leader. Martinelli, there's not many like him. Wanyeri is the star boy. Now, as much as I love Magalhaes, and some of you are dishonest, because some of you used to say Pablo Mari was better than him. In the ideal world, I should be talking about Magalhaes because you should be able to replace defenders a lot easier, as good as they are, than attackers. Like, that's why the attackers are a premium. And you are younger. But out of these three, it'd be the man in the middle. I'm not going to quite say names. DG or selling Martinelli, stop the propaganda. I'm at the point where the romance is dying with a lot of these football. Listen, Martinelli is frustrating, but he's my guy, man. At the end of the day, if you never had players that are not doing what needs to be done, it's frustrating. I know we want to win stuff. Yes, I'm sentimental, but at the end of the day, that's your guy. I can't stay, kid, man. But it's dark. Gabriel stays no matter what. January after no transfers, Arsenal Zubimendi is joining. Just some minor details to agree. Maybe after UCL elimination, Arsenal Zubimendi is joining Arsenal. Just some minor details to agree. Pardon? That Carragher shot that hit the post after we had a 20-minute period of domination. Exactly what Martinelli is not capable of. He has no stardust. The thought to shoot there would have not even crossed his mind, assuming he would have got into that position. But again, I don't think that's really fair. I don't think that's really fair because, when you're in the Champions League semi-finals, there's a lot of stardust. There is a lot of stardust. There was stardust at the Bernabeu. Like, what Kvaratskhelia did in many ways is exactly what Martinelli did at the Bernabeu. Scoring that final goal to dent 15-time Champions League winners Real Madrid's hopes of any remontada as I call it. That takes big bollocks. Unique qualities. Someone that's arguably a Hall of Famer in the Premier League where right backs are concerned, in Trent Alexander-Arnold. Say what you want about Martinelli, he's probably been one of the most toughest opponents against him. Jurgen Klopp, who knows a lot more about football than me. I'm just a fanatic, providing for analysis, armchair expert. He's described Martinelli as the talent of the century. Do I think he was sniffing? 100%. But yeah. My chair was offering its thoughts, but yeah, Kvaratskhelia would be lit. I don't have it to hand yet, but did you see the former Arsenal scout? I think he's Polish done or something, saying they did take it out of context when I actually read it. But the year we bought Marquinhos, sorry, am I frozen? The year we bought Marquinhos, certain scouts or somebody said nah to Kvaratskhelia. Funny how life changes. We can't afford to be missing those hidden gems, man. You either spend the big racks or you find these guys, because I know they're not everywhere, but they're somewhere. All of these players got to start somewhere. Why don't we get none of them? I look at a lot of these players, and obviously they've ended up where they're ending up, and there's different nuances behind it. But I look at like the period when the Gundogan's and the Kevin De Bruyne's and them that kind of period they were joining City. Or you look at Liverpool when they signed Salah. Now, I wasn't saying to Arsenal to sign Salah. I didn't think he or Mane. It appears that these players are quote unquote gettable at a time. Kvaratskhelia, obviously, before he even ended up in Paris, he was at Napoli. They've got to start somewhere. We've got a couple of examples. You know, we jumped the gun positively with Saliba and his potential, where, you know, he's doing his thing. Magalhaes was part of that. Well, Leo always got good players. Well, Osimhen, Rafael, Magalhaes. They got a couple at the moment, to be fair. They're probably kicking themselves that Jonathan David's leaving on a free. We've done it sometimes. I know people don't want to hear it. And there's rightly so talk about Odegaard's performances and upgrading on him and all of that. But it costs 30 odd million. Now, I'm not here to say banter aside, Martinelli's going to be elite. But if worse comes to worse and you are going to sell him, that's it. That's an upgrade on 6 million. So there is an ability to do it. It's criminal, though. I'm not going to lie. Listen, big up Marquinhos and everything. But how did we go Brazil and come back with it? Has anyone seen him play? Do you know when I knew that? When I knew it wasn't going to happen for him, like big him up. But I knew it wasn't going to happen for him. Oh yeah, he did score in the Europa League. I knew it wasn't going to happen for him when he went to Norwich, and I was watching Norwich. Like, he started off very well, but I started to like watch like Norwich fan channels and like all of that kind of stuff, because obviously they're the ones watching him. They weren't rating him. And I remember when he was announced, and I'm not one, you know, come on, I'm a logical person as a you lot. I'm not one to judge someone on YouTube highlights and that. But I remember someone posted his highlights on Twitter. And he looks like, has anyone seen Ronaldinho's son play? Please type it in. It's not, please type it in. If you have, he looked like that. I know it was only 3 million. And to be fair, he did look, for the under 21s, Arsenal played Man United's under 21s. He looked bloody brilliant at that level at one point, but come on. No Martinelli slander. But again, it might not, listen, this might be Martinelli. This might be Odegaard. We might just have to upgrade. Same way Tini's a good player and whatnot. Different conversations had to be had. Even with Odegaard, as I was saying, unpopular opinion, but we spent 30 odd million quid on Odegaard, which has worked out. Edu has made some shocking signings. I hear you, but when signings work, though, I'm not saying you're saying this, but when signings work, why did they always say like it's Arteta? But when they've gone wrong, it's always Edu. Bearing in mind, no one's there as well. Like, everyone's just painting whatever narrative. I'm not here to say it's Edu or Arteta. Inzaghi even speak English. I don't know, man, but football talks what language, man. Put the ball in the net, keep them out yours. And to be fair, we could do with an Italian ethos this season, because I'm not buying our defensive standards. What's more baffling is that we bid for Rafinha first, and when that failed, we got Marquinhos. Wow. We almost signed Rafinha on loan in the summer, but Edu couldn't negotiate playing time. I will never forgive him for that. He's bugging, man. He needs to lie to Dons. If Edu did that, that's why you're not hearing it. Perez to Sanchez to Martinelli left wing. Yikes. DG, we used to be Hidden Gems FC. Our scouts are on the beach. To be fair, though, scouts' job is to identify talent. If they're identifying bad boys and people are not getting things over the line, it's not their fault. And also, I always say this, because obviously talent ID and whatnot, but I could be a scout for Arsenal, and I'm not saying I would, but I find the next Lionel Messi, Yalmao, this one, that one, sent scouting reports. Bearing in mind, if I'm a scout, I'm going to report to head of recruitment. See if he doesn't do his job, or he doesn't like me, or he doesn't think my talent ID is that messed, or he's brushing off my reports and going watching other players. It ends there. So people have to listen. You look at Man United, they've been linked to some very good players. Ralph Rangnick actually has been saying in interviews, identifying talent is not the issue. It's the players they're going for and the way they're going about things. Eden Hazard was decent from what I heard. Boy, big up Highbury, man. Leave me alone. My club did it. Oh, sorry, I thought that was for me. We binned our hidden gem scouts during COVID to keep the likes of Ito and other data analysts. Should explain why recruitment has been off key the last 6 years. Madrid not going to win the league for another 4 years. Damn. Luis Enrique is on 9.6 million contract, by the way. Get his money up, man. Arteta's laughing. Exactly what we got. DG, a £30 million player. Fair. Some think Odegaard only looks good because he plays on the favourable right side, and Saka next to him could be a basic player, but hopefully he turns it around. That's all we can hope for, man. No, Kara was offered to everyone in Europe. Exactly. For 10 million, innit? For 10 million. You read that article, innit? Exactly. You got to buy him somewhere. These guys start somewhere. They're all somewhere. Like, you look at Gyökeres. I weren't saying buy him when he was at Brighton or Swansea or anything, but somebody at Sporting had some competence to say, yeah, you know what, this is the guy. I always say Isaac. I don't know if, obviously, Isaac's a great player and he was signed for 80 million, but I don't know if every Newcastle fan, when Isaac signed, was saying, yeah, this is going to happen for us, or Gordon's going to happen for us, or Gomares is going to be this talismanic figure kind of midfielder. They bought smartly, Livramento and Lewis Hall at the moment. They bought smartly. They kept it moving. That's what you got to do. You either have to be prepared to pay these extortionate fees, and if it gets wrong, or you try to be a bit diligent. And for a minute, our recruitment was generally getting better, man. Like Jamie Carragher and Gary Neville thought we took a... Remember when we lost to Brentford in their first game? They thought we took an L with Ramsdale at the time and Ben White. Spot on. It's not always about the scouts. It's about head of recruitment, chief scout, director of football making the right decisions. Exactly. And if everyone's not aligned, crazy. And again, obviously, we wouldn't trade places where Brentford and Brighton are unless you support United or Spurs. You have to throw that in. I've got nothing else. Everyone at Brentford's on the same page. Everyone at Brighton's on the same page. That needs to happen. Yeah, the overpay and Pepe thing didn't bang. At least we've done it more educated now with Rice. That's what it is, that thing. There are manning these YouTube and Twitter servers that didn't want Isaac after his time at Sociedad. And that's the thing. Sometimes players take a bit of a minute to get going. Our manager isn't really developing players either, if we're honest. Why did he sign Sterling to us? We just wasted their loan. I'm gutted. I also hear the same narrative about City, that it will take them a while to get back. I believe they're going to fight for the title next season. So do I. Keep running up the likes, people. Please, appreciate you. Berta has a good track record of signing attackers. Arteta stick to defenders. We need a midfield scout. Arsenal scouts are good, but the club negotiations are so poor, damn poor. Never before have I seen so many linked players getting hijacked because we're trying to fight for a fiver. Hey, fair point. Probs while Michelin ducked out when he did. Well, I completely forgot about Michelin Tat. We've seen a couple changes in it. I'm not gonna lie though. I'm really believing in Berta. I'll be honest. That's just my personal opinion with no evidence. But sometimes I have to check myself. It's not the same, but the last time I believed in someone that has nothing to do with the coaching and that, it was Raul Sanier. And I swear, technically, he was here when we signed Saliba and that. But yeah, man, he was doing the interviews. He was sounding how he need to sound. And even little smart things with Berta, like Luis Suarez, for example. Like sometimes you have to do those cute and clever signings. Like clearly, when Atletico signed Suarez, he was on the out, but still had something to offer. He helped win the league for Atletico. Sometimes maybe we need to be smart like that. Now, there was no movie like that for us, but January. Do you know the new narrative I've been running to my friends? And it's so shameless. If Jesus never got injured, we would have done a madness because he was coming into form. But off to a good start. If we can't get Isaac, the only other players I could see that could be available and have that magic Stardust quality are Cunha, Leao, not Gyökeres, not Sesko, not Gittins, not Williams. Are you buying it then? Because surely if you're saying Nico Williams, Leao, because I think people misunderstand me with Leao. Social joins, allow me. I think if he really wanted it, he could be a great player. I think he's a moments man. I think he's got ability. I think he struggles with consistency. I think his consistency across 90 minutes in decision making is terrible. But I think he's got all the raw materials to be decent. And I'm at that stage now. Let's just buy players, bro. Like, just forget it now, whether they work or not. When you're starving, everything looks hungry. Like, truthfully, I really don't care about the striker. Just buy one. Of course, Isaac would be the dream, which isn't happening. Yo, DG, I made our first signing, but still got more to do. We ain't don't count the chickens for the hatch, man. Liao turns up when he turns up. Yeah, he's on that thing. Williams invisible against United. Liao is a player that can change a game on a dime. We need those daredevils. We do, but I'm trying to see that. Obviously, I'm exaggerating, but 38 Premier League games, I'm trying to see that in 30 of them. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see an amazing 5 games and 10 games. You're here and there. You're playing well, but not scoring. You're scoring, but playing dead, stat padding, all of that stuff. I need to see that all the time because that's why Saka is rated. That's why the Sakas, the Yamals, the Salahs, they're top 5 in their respective positions. That's why the Declan Rice is in the 8s and the 6s. That's why the William Salibas and the Gabriel Magalhães and the Lewis Kellys and the Jurian Timbers. You lot clocked from time. I'm being shameless in it, but you get the point. Did you see Cunha today with that Brighton pen? No, I didn't. Did he score? Man didn't even speak on Cunha last season, and he had a good season. Now he's a preferred striker. Leao is overrated for me. I hear it. With the curse, man. Totally agree on Leao. When I watch him for 90 minutes, he's out of the game for 75% of it. And it's just about seeing that on a more consistent basis, man. I'm starving, man. I would love Ryan Cherky. I've explained before, I don't think we're getting him for varieties of reasons. If Leao was playing under Wenger, it would have been a wrap. Under this manager, he'll become Jorginho. I just think Leao's lazy. He's a talented, good player. It sounds dumb, but he enjoys the game too much. You want to do skills and whatnot. Of course, big games, you'll buy into it, but I don't think you need to be ruthless, man. That's one thing above everything I admire about Salah, because arguably, I know the contract, but this is one of, away from obviously Liverpool winning the Prem, but probably one of the best versions as a neutral I've seen of Mohamed Salah week in, week out. And look at the age. DG, from what you've seen, do Arsenal have Leao on the list behind Nico? Based on the reports, but how far does that go? I also swear Arteta prefers touchline wingers. Leao is not the one for his systems. I don't think. I think the only time I don't think Mikel Arteta values attacking from wide areas like that. I think his thing is all central. Yeah, the crosses will come in and people will occupy positions, but I think Mikel Arteta's bread and butter is the middle of the pitch. Like, I think that's the area of a football pitch he gets most fascinated about, like the dominance behind it. How quickly can they win it from the back line, counter pressing, inverted this? I think that is what excites him. I think he recognizes defense. I think in an ideal world, he would focus on the attack, the defense, and you just have a good striker, like a certain level striker, a certain level winger, and they can capitalize on those fine margins. Cunha gave the pen away, caught in possession on the edge of the box. Damn. If Leao was tasked with marking a player like Carrot Skeeler, like Saka, do the people that want Leao see him doing it? But this is where the game's gone mad, and you're not wrong, but being devil's advocate, exciting winger like Leao, skills and all the positives and negatives. And the first question we're asking is, how's he like following his man defensively? Football's gone that way, though. Strikers, we're talking about defending. People, I can't believe normal people are saying, talking to me about XG as genuine points in games now. The football's gone crazy. Goalies have to be good with their feet. It's mad. Get Williams and Yok. It's so simple to me. I'm thinking in games we need a workhorse, we have Nelly, and in games we need an attacking threat, we have Leao, which is Salzini, Trossard, Fabio Vieira, Lokonga, Nelson, and only sell Jesus next season and buy Gyökeres, Zubi, Cherky, Lookman, and Juan Garcia. Then we have 6 or 7 attackers we can compete. But seriously, DG, if we got Enrique as a manager and he asked Leao to do that against Liverpool to cover Salah, would he do it? I mean, did anyone see Ousmane Dembele working so hard off the ball and all of that stuff? I don't know. Leao is a rich man, Semenyo. I don't know. It's harsh. Big up Semenyo for what it's worth. I don't know how fans are turning up their nose at it like we haven't had a headless chicken in left wing for the past 2 years. Hey, come on. Agree, but taking a look at Nelly, for example, he turned him from an inside forward or even a 9 under Emre to a touchline winger who's simply looking to put a cross in. Yeah, I think Saka's job is to be Saka. I think, I'm not going to lie, I think Martinelli you're one of the pieces of the puzzle of how we're trying to win games. Like you're gonna do that. If you can live a movie for yourself, which you should be able to, great. But yeah, games need 3 attackers. You hear it? He don't like wide play. He wants wingers to cut in and lay it off or shoot. That's why he's obsessed with playing the false nine. Like how I do like it with Arteta. He's very obsessed off the ball. There's a lot to like about Arteta in isolation, but then as a manager of my football club, bro, you need to get things over the line. And if not, questions have to be asked. Marcus Rashford, let's talk about it. Big up Rashford, man. Keep feeding the kids. Rashford for president, but you don't need to be here. That's a minor improvement. We need massive improvements. I hear it. I hear it. I hear it. Don't vex. What did Cunha do to get a red card or something? I don't know, man. I really don't know. Real is boying it indeed, man. Just wants the champagne. Or RM, sorry. Trying to read 2 things at once. Boy, let's not. Dembele is a pressure machine, but their system allows them to press so efficiently, not as individuals. Problem with Mikel is he's always been a loser, a needy guy. He wants Sesko, and 80% of the talent ID has been shit. Don't give him a dime. Sack him and get me an elite Champions League winning manager. Get me a proven winner. Leao is the French version of St. Maximin. On his day, unplayable, but very rarely is that day frustrating more than anything. And that we got enough, Lord knows we got enough frustrating players. Can't have 11 workhorses. We need one X factor that doesn't need to track back that much. Leao will want to defend for us. Bring him. There was a goal he scored against Inter a few years ago that was incredibly Thierry Henry against Liverpool S. That's the kind of solo brilliance we need. Nico Williams is much better and cheaper. Seems like there's quite a split in the chat. Let's also be fair. Arteta could sign prime R9, Baptista, closer, Raul, and he turned them into an inverted defensive midfielder. He would turn Messi into a right wing back. Horrible, man. Nasty suggestions from you. Hope not. DG, what do you think of a player like Gittins? Pretty much has Nelly's work rate, but he's 100% a better dribbler. We're gonna have to get one of those projecty kind of guys if we're not gonna. You know what? I don't really rate the left-hand side market, if I'm honest. I'm sure there's a guy out there, and I'm not no scout, but there's good players, of course, and I evidently want one, but who really 100% convinced is really on the left hand, like left inside forwards? Not really. I'm not saying they're bad or I wouldn't want them, but not really. What do you think of the Gordon mix? Bring him, but it's not gonna happen. It'd be crazy to let him leave Newcastle. Gittins gives me Alanga vibes. I'm not moved at all. To be fair, we could have done with Alanga this year in the squad. Unpopular opinion, I find myself missing Danny Welbeck. Danny Welbeck could have done a job up front. Unpopular opinion, we've seen him play off the left. Anything is better than what we have right now. We can only get better. Romantada came here talking about who am I supporting. He's supporting these men that buy other legends because they can't make their own. Don't talk to me, damn. Dembele is only firing for Enrique. Tuchel couldn't get him to these levels. The difference is the coach. Yeah, I hear that. But sometimes it's the individual because you look at Eto. Eto, he gave an interview. He said there was bare things I was only going to do for Jose Mourinho. I wasn't going to do it for no others. Jose, I think he said something like Jose is the only guy that can make me play out wide. So there is an ability of man have to buy into you and want to run through a brick wall for you. Even Harvey Barnes would cook for us. To be fair, could have used him. That's the problem, though. Talking about Leao goal from Inter from a few years ago, I prefer a player that's consistent week in, week out. There you get it from. Where have the set piece specialists gone? Don't know, man, but they're going to have to get back to it. Is Gittins not a hype job? I don't think so, but you know you're paying through the nose for these kind of guys now. Nico Williams is cheaper, but his salary is like 500 foul a week or something, so it kind of balances out. I think that's harsh. Leao's a balanced player, GA-wise, good pressure at the front, but yes, he doesn't track back well. I still prefer Nico, but I don't mind it either way. Being devil's advocate, though, obviously, Leao would have to have a willingness to want to do it, but surely, in theory, like it's easier to teach a player how to run backwards and follow a man than it is to teach him any kind of improvements, really, technically. Because there are, you do look at Odegaard, you do look at Martinelli, more Martinelli. If you haven't got the decision making now, when are you going to get your big boy now? Why isn't Rodrigo obtainable? I don't know, but they surely have to put the piece down. Who do you lean towards, DG, on Leao, Nico? Leao's going to be on piece. Leao as a player, if I'm honest, because I like the nonsense skills. But I think all things considered, I know someone raised up the wages, and also it's another tool you lot have been waffling about you need, so go and get that. I'll probably pivot towards Nico Williams. Arteta won't buy Leao. His work ethic is bad. The question that has to be asked is if the AC Milan manager wants Leao tracking back or not. Could be the case that Leao is strictly being told not to enter his own half, might even get fined for it. As also generally those things do go on in football. Can we go back in time and sign a 2014 Santi, brother? If only, innit? Gittins is class, but a project, I'd spend the money and sign Rodrigo. But I'm just asking the question: do we see us buying Gyökeres, the money and the wages for Rodrigo? Obviously, if we do get Zubimendi, you've got him and everything else. I don't know. Milan at 8th at the moment. Haven't heard about Leao in ages. Isn't Milan struggling? Oh, that's why it's there. Aubameyang was fine on the Tuchel. Aubameyang called him his manager. I hear it. There's also that. And surely, if Arteta has been able to galvanize players, whether they've been successful or not, surely there's an element of you must have some ability to do that. If I'm honest with you, surely. I don't know though, man. Who am I? Again, people keep your talking points, but I'm all forgetting that we do have things to discuss, and clearly we've been here for a minute. Big up you lot, because we've been waffling for a minute still. We have 162 likes. Big up you lot. Can we get as close to 200 as possible? Now, before we get into Mikel Arteta's press conference, and we're going to just do that part before we get into the transfers, some interesting sound bites, and let me know your thoughts. Nwaneri's game time can change very quickly after reduced Arsenal minutes, says Mikel Arteta. Why do you think that is? Why do you think he's not getting more minutes? And do you think now that the season's a bit of a write-off, Nwaneri's now going to get starts? Because I must admit, that's going to pee me off now. It would surprise me, but it would not surprise me if Nwaneri starts tomorrow, with it all said and done. Former Arsenal midfielder Seth Fabregas has actually been linked with Bayern Leverkusen. I just thought I'd point that out. There's been question marks about the manager. Would you lot sack him and get Xavi? You know what? You lot like to be asked these questions. Why not? Because Xavi said, I'd like to work in the Premier League, folks. I won't read this, people, but Mikel Arteta got some heat as well from the French media. It says it's time to mature. Mikel Arteta told he's bitter and needs to face the facts at Arsenal. What do you lot make of the headline? Shout out young Kyan Edwards. He's been nominated for player of the season in the Premier League too. He is a striker. Whether he would have made a difference or not, you do wonder. Why can't we get some minutes there? What else have we got? Declan Rice won April's goal of the month. It was in vain, Rice, but what a time that was to be an Arsenal fan. Purely at that moment with the Rice free kick. It's the first one. It's the second one. The immediate shot from the first one was mad. But then the second one, because I'm like, he's fucking done it again, ain't he? Shout out Rice, man. Every word of Mikel Arteta's pre-Liverpool presser on how he's feeling post-Wednesday night. Really? I'm more settled. I think it was one of the saddest, but one of my most proudest moments that I've had as an Arsenal manager for obvious reasons. Let's delve. What are those obvious reasons? On if he believes we were the best team in the Champions League. 100%. I'm watching the impact. I'm watching all the stats because they were the best stats and the best goal difference in the semi-final. So let's take them stats. It shows we've got a base, but then win these things, get in positions where we win these things, because it's not making sense, my guy, man. Yeah, man. Best goal difference in the semi-finals. Big us up on that. So it's very clear, but it's not about the winning probability or what you've merited. It's about actually making it happen. Okay, I jumped the gun. You're saying what I want you to say now and making it count. When you look at the important stats that normally give you the best performance to win football matches, it's crystal clear who's better. Fair enough. They took the chances, football side at both ends. On what needs to happen next season to ensure we can win it, I think if we raise the probability even more, instead of 5 expected goals against 3, it's 7 against 0, then it will be much closer. Come on, you're losing me again, mate. But 5-3, normally you are in a final and you should be through. But it doesn't guarantee you anything, only that you've done so much work. If you face PSG, who are one of the best teams, and they blow you away and you don't even know what happened, you shake hands and say, we're still not ready. This is our second season in the Champions League. When you look at them in the eye, you play the way they suffered in the way we did against them. It's still not enough, but I think they go in your way. Loosely, I think you're saying what I'm saying, but you're a bit more romantic with how you're painting it, Arteta. or they added quality or overperformance in certain areas that are critical to winning a football match. So that's smart work for maybe they just took their chances and were good in the final third. But he's rambling a bit. You have to accept that that's sport and in particular football. But it does come across as that. Not this probability nonsense. I think Arteta plays the probabilities too much, which you can do that. But I would also say, just in terms of we want X Factor and Stardust, what was the probability of Rice licking in 2 free kicks? Or are scoring all those goals? My point being, do your overly smart thing, factor in everything, but remember what this game of football is for what we all love it, regardless of if you're the manager in our Arsenal fan, United fan. We watch it for those randomness, that breathtaking moments, the things you can't put into words. We've lost that. It's a bit too robotic. We've lost the art of football, I feel a bit. So let's improve what needs to be improved. Take the things we're good at to another level. Put our best foot forward off the field in terms of what we need to do with this squad. And just hope the football gods take a shine to us, man. When you work hard, good things happen, man. So yeah, on whether we need more firepower to create the chances. Come on, convert the chances. That's very volatile. Just say yes. And regardless of the players that you have, it happens, which is true, but it's happening too frequently, even in games we win. Nobody can predict when you go to the semi-finals and Inter against Barca, and you could predict who was going to score, how he was going to score. It's impossible. The right back had the first chance of the game. He missed it. The centre half that is left footed scored with his right foot. Then against us, Hakimi, he shouldn't be in the game for the last 10 minutes for the first leg. So he could not play the second game and score when the expected goals was 0.07. These are all random things in football. I hear that. But why don't we have, apart from Rice, we don't have that kind of thing for ourselves more often than not. Allow the XG thing, Gaffer, man. You come up through La Masia, allow that, man. I don't think at one point, no way, with all them ballers that came through at La Masia, and no way have they said XG, man. Come on, man. You're better than that, Gaff. You're better than that. On having to lift the players for the final 3 matches of the season. But this is what we are. When we came so close to winning big trophies and you don't achieve it, it has to be part of that journey. Are we there yet? We have to be able now to go immediately into a different competition and perform at the highest level. That's it. Give Liverpool a guard of honor. They do deserve it. They have been the best team, most consistent, all of that stuff. On ending the season strongly to consolidate. Second, I'm not going to bore you lot. Bro, you need to do that. We're getting close to winning trophies, but we need to be buying players. We did take a step forward in the champs. I'm not going to lie, on board of it now. It's nothing personal, Mikel Arteta. It's just bare long. But then again, what do you say about Wenyeri? There are moments when players are used more and used less. He's played a lot. He's played probably more than anybody expected. Fair, for sure. And in the last few games, because of the games and the context, we decided not to play him that much. It can change very quickly. What have you got to do to put yourself in the context is Wenyeri? Gaffer, play the guy. Play the guy. Did he say what's he said about the summer plans? Very excited already with the players that we have and having everybody fit and available. We are a super strong team. What we've done in the Champions League semi-final, we haven't done in 20 years at this football club with the actual players that we have right now. So yeah, very, very positive. On how he frames success and failure, assess what we do, what we're doing is something that we merit. What is happening by luck, what is happening and the understanding, the reasons why we do it. Gaffer, I can't continue reading that, man. I'm not going to lie to you. We do need someone that can score 25 like Mohamed Salah. On if he thinks a new attacker is the answer. I have to make it more clear. In January, it was clear or not. I told you because you were in the room. I think many times I've made a very clear statement and the statement continues the same. I want the best team, the best players. If we have 3 goal scorers over 25, bring them in. We are going to be a much better team. Yes, now he seems a bit peed off. And we've gone for Gyökeres, he's over 25. Is that indirectly him saying nothing, saying a lot, but also saying a lot? Especially around that was clear because you did say we want to bring players in. So maybe Berta has been brought into when we need to pivot because there's an injury crisis or we need to be proactive. We can do something. But yeah, we do need if we could get, every team needs a Mo Salah realistically, man. Copy and paste chat into chat GBT and get it to read some of it for you. Sometimes I do this when I CBA to read long articles. Shout. But it's more, I don't mind reading it, but it's more neither here nor there, just play their games. Now, if we move this on, people, the main focus at Arsenal allegedly will be on a forward, and those within the club say there are now so many options that there are no excuses. Allegedly, the interest in Nico Williams is well documented. I've also previously mentioned that they like Anthony Gordon. I saw Rodrigo rumors, but I don't have any info on that at the moment, and there'll be more options. I'm not sure we should expect a quick resolution on this position. Arsenal have been keen to add a wide attacker for what feels like years. I think it would require a departure, and also the more immediate priority seems to be a striker. Now, that was David Ornstein, people, in his Q&A. You would have seen, and I'm sure you will know, Fabrizio Romano kicked off Saturday at 8 a.m. when he said that Arsenal have agreed a deal to sign Zubimendi. Done is here we go. We verbally agreed it on a long-term deal. We're taking the formal steps to trigger his release clause, and he's expected to be our first signing, not only of the Andrea Berta era, but our first signing ahead of a summer, which needs to be bang on. Apparently, he was never close to Real Madrid, despite Xabi Alonso being desperate to sign him, beating them on and off the field. Xabi Alonso asked Real Madrid to sign Zubimendi, but the club told him they're not planning to sign a six this summer. They told the manager that they appreciate his insight, but the final decisions on signings are made by the club, not him. I hear that, Obviously, we're not Real Madrid, but that'd be a nice way to move, rightly or wrongly. And I do feel as a manager, it's harsh, but this is the remit. I'm going to say it again. They told the manager that they appreciate his insight, but the final decisions on signings are made by the club, not him. That'd be interesting. Zubimendi won possession in the midfield third more times with 322 than any other player since the start of 2022-23. He's made Rice players at 8. Are we going to see 2 8s? And not necessarily a 6, or both of them do 6 stuff and 8 stuff? We've got to evolve. Allegedly, Real Madrid checked in. So it's funny, this stuff seems to come out. Checked in with Martin Zubimendi's agency on 3 occasions, people, regarding his availability. However, they were told he had given his word to Mikel Arteta and Arsenal. And again, you would have seen today, people, allegedly, we are moving ever closer to getting Zubimendi over the line. He was going to sign for us 1 year. He did reject Liverpool. He chose to stay in Spain last summer, despite different degrees of interest from Arsenal and Liverpool. Though it's understood, the Gunners didn't make a formal offer for the player in 2024. Romano has also once again said that we're signing him. So yeah, that's where Zubimendi is concerned, people. You would have seen also we've opened talks to commit Trossard to a new contract. Boy, and there's also rumors that he sees a potential move to Saudi as a payday, which I can't begrudge him. In terms of win now mode, to get Gyökeres and keep Trossard and try and do something, I wouldn't be against it. I could understand if there's offers from Saudi, if you let him go. Is this to protect us though? Because we'd love a left winger. We know we need depth. But maybe if a winger was coming in, like Zubimendi was a left winger, maybe we don't give Trossard a new deal. Maybe do we have to give ourselves that security? I don't know. But yeah, we haven't signed too many attackers under Arteta. He's probably been one of his best. This season, he's had 26 starts, people, from 35 games. He's got 8 goals and 6 assists, and a couple of them goals came recently. His contract expires in 2027. Apparently, the new deal on the table would keep Trossard at the club until 2029. Now, we have previously seen reports about Trossard well over a year ago about a new deal. Apparently, well, there you have it. Last September, we turned down a bid for him, and the clubs in the league are understood to be pursuing him again this summer. So just because you sign a new deal, maybe that also protects your value. The development comes ahead of a summer in which Arsenal are in the market for a striker and a left winger. Boy, it's understood that his high levels of fitness in terms of longevity was a contributing factor to the length proposed from Arsenal, which is not the norm for players aged over 30, people. Fair enough. This article has been speaking about stuff. I did cover this in a previous one. I'll skip through it, people. But long story short, it spoke about our injuries, where our season's got to. Everybody's echoing the same positions we need to sign. Sad, man, to see this. Very sad. Being at the game as well. Very sad. It's long story short. It said that our priority, our dream target would be Isaac. Interestingly, it has also said that some people at Arsenal don't necessarily agree with things. Do you know what? It's better yet. Let me stop paraphrasing. We got a job to do. Thus far, they're a club which gets close, so close to getting their hands on a trophy. Arteta mimicked doing this with a water bottle at his press conference on Wednesday. For all Arteta's defensiveness, there's an acceptance by the Spaniard new sporting director Andrea Berta that the club that seriously invests in the front line is needed this summer. A striker is their priority, with left wing next on the list. Newcastle's Isaac is highly admired by Arsenal and other key figures. He's a dream target, though unlikely. He would most certainly wipe out most of our transfer budget. So beyond the obvious, and Newcastle probably getting Champions League football, it doesn't make sense. The two front men being predominantly, I can't read, pursued by Leipzig, by Arsenal is Leipzig, Sesko, and obviously Sporting's Gyökeres. It's understood Sporting directors are in talks, and obviously Sporting Lisbon are currently searching for a new striker. Apparently, there's a gentleman's agreement. You got a 70 million asking price. And apparently, the Swedes' options are limited to a few clubs with the financial power and willingness to spend that on a single player. Arsenal is one such team. Berta is said to admire Gyökeres from his time at Atletico. So the striking targets haven't changed. Internally, views are torn on whether the striker can hit the ground running in the Prem, as the Primera Liga is a different proposition, even though he has scored 38 goals in the league this season. United are still linked with him. Sesko has 26 goals this campaign, and apparently at 21 years of age, he presents an ideal profile for future growth. And then, in a sense, yeah, I think Arsenal, with Berta coming in, he's kind of pushing that, yeah, get the young players and whatnot, but you need players for right now. Potentially, I don't know how many young players Berta signed, but potentially Berta might have to kind of pull back on one of the players that are right now. So it'd be interesting to see how that dynamic plays out. In terms of left wing, Nico Williams is the number one priority. The position is an area the Gunners have looked at strengthening since last year. Martinelli and Trossard are their current options. It was seen as light then and is set to be even more bare next season. Trossard is again exploring a move to the Saudi Pro League, who've expressed interest. At 30, with 1 more year left on his contract, it's understood he now sees this as an opportune time to get one final lucrative contract. So that's an interesting one. It says we won't stand in his way. Going back, Williams, he's seen by the club as an ideal player to compete with Martinelli, who has been hot and cold this campaign, though it is complicated by Chelsea, who are also understood to be interested in the player. If that move becomes impossible, other names on Arsenal's list for left wing are understood to include AC Milan's Rafael Leao and Borussia Dortmund's Jamie Gittins. The other avenue Arsenal are looking to secure is the current spine of the current team. It said Saliba, Gabriel, and Saka, we want new deals. It said we're quite relaxed on the Saka contract front. Saliba, we know there's a backdrop of Real Madrid. Apparently, we are well within our PSR limits, so have capacity to spend, but also looking to offload a number of squad players to bolster our summer war chest. So the language is repeating itself. So we have to see. You'd imagine, Jorginho is going to Flamengo allegedly. You'd imagine Zinchenko could cut. He's actually been linked with Dortmund. Apparently, Max Dolman's going to be on the preseason tour. We spoke about this lightly earlier in the video. At least an estimated 80 million is being targeted from Arsenal player sales in the summer coming window, to add to the reserves already built up from last summer, in which the outgoings of Smith Rowe, Nketiah, Ramsdale, and others created close to 100 million. So we've made 100 million last year, allegedly. You had 80. Assuming we sell that on top of the kitty that's available anywhere, it seems quite bullish and heroic, but seeing is believing. Zinchenko is eyeing an exit to Dortmund, a move which was explored in January. With the emergence of 18-year-old left-back Miles Lewis-Skelly, Zinchenko has fallen further down the pecking order and is set to leave. Fabio Vieira is not in Arteta's first-team plans. Nuno Tavares on loan at Lazio has a buyout clause of 7 million, which the Serie A club are allegedly set to trigger, and he's got a 20% sell-on clause. It says here Lokonga's got a buy option of 10 million people, and we'd have a 25% sell-on clause. But it said that Sevilla have not yet decided whether to trigger such. Nelson's on 100 grand a week, as it says here, which is a hefty amount for a player on the fringes, and you'd imagine he's moved on. Apparently, we plan to sell Kivior this summer, but off the back of the recent performances, having preoccupied the bench for most of this campaign, there's a temptation to keep him, but the club are mindful that he'll attract a larger fee than, say, a couple of months ago. Overall, there's a hefty chunk of money to be capitalized upon. Attacking midfield is another area in which they could do with some attention. Arteta is confident that 15-year-old Max Dolman can provide depth in the future. He's expected to go on Arsenal's Asia preseason tour with a view to being part of the first-team squad next season. So the Gunners' to-do list for this season runs long, but remains the difference between silverware and another season as a bridesmaid. Damn. I'm not going to read this. This article done me in the video I did earlier. This is basically said because Nike sponsor Atletico Madrid, they've got more of a chance than Arsenal and Man United of signing Gyökeres. Again, people, Sammy Motbell has said the appointment of Berta resulted in Gyökeres stock rising. Sources in recent weeks indicated there's considerable internal backing for the move, despite much of the groundwork having been completed on a deal to sign Sesko. Where are you lot at with that? Both players have release clauses, but indications are the clubs are willing to negotiate lower fees. At this stage, sources suggest Gyökeres is the most economical of the two people. There's no way I can say this word, but reticence about spending has played into the frustrations around Arsenal. However, their firm stance is that they do not want to just be at the limit of PSR. So we've heard about war chest, getting our affairs in order. We don't want to be reckless. That is not how we go about things, one source inside the club said, while senior figures talk of wanting to be good citizens in a manner that befits their establishment status. Others have bitterly quibbed about rivals who are barely compliant with PSR but don't care. Okay, whatever that means. Once again, it seems that Berta and Arsenal are on the tail where it comes to Rafael Leao. Chelsea apparently are allegedly going to open talks, and he could be set to leave for around 63.5 million. Apologies. Is that something you lot would do? Once again, Ornstein said Arsenal have open talks with Saliba over a new contract. Berta has allegedly held discussions with the defenders camp, and an offer will come in due course, which we all hope happens, people. This article said Real Madrid want Joe Bellingham, younger brother of Jude Bellingham. And it's interestingly said they're ahead of Arsenal, Man United, Dortmund, and Leipzig. Don't know if it's facts, but there you have it. Ornstein on Hugo Ekitike, who none of them have listed, but was linked with us, will leave Frankfurt in the summer. Plan clear, as several top clubs have already made contact. Premier League top sides approach Eintracht and the players' camp. Ekitike wants to focus on reaching Europa League with Eintracht and then decide his future right after. Would you like to have him? Team News and Ticks has said it's pretty much widely. Well, I can actually just paraphrase this. This has said it's well known Arsenal want to sign Isaac and do like the guy, and it's expected that he might leave if Newcastle don't get Champions League. That's the only chance you have. They get in European football, and I don't even buy that anyways. The allocation of funds is going to be important, or sales are going to be needed if Arsenal are going to get top targets in all areas. As of now, the left wing is seen as a position where they could go for a cheaper option to allow funds elsewhere. However, as always, the situation is fluid. I know they have spoken to Nico Williams multiple times this year, and I think that's a deal they get done if possible. But again, it would have to be paid up front, and the wages would be substantial. Now, these seem to be the ITKs. Arsenal have been interested in the 70 million Morgan Rogers deal. I'd love it. Can't buy that. Allegedly, Arteta is pushing to get Kevin De Bruyne. Boy, Arsenal prepared to sell Martinelli this summer as part of a major overhaul of Arteta's squad. Do we believe that? Arteta would love to sign Alexander Isak, who is known to be interested, but few see that as having the chance. Most of the work to date has been on Benjamin Sesko. There is interest in Gyökeres and Hugo Ekitike. Ollie Watkins is not off the radar. Would you not have Ollie Watkins? Do you think it makes sense? Is that something you'd be aware of? We're still linked with Semenyo as well. Apparently, Arsenal are now aware that they badly need to match Saka's productivity on the other flank. Nico Williams, who has a buyout clause, thought to be in the region of 50 million, is the ideal option, but his wages would be high. In contrast to a higher fee for Anton Semenyo, Arsenal also like Mbeumo. I'm having Mbeumo, man. You don't know I'm a big fan. Get it done. Miguel Delaney has said Arsenal's deal to sign Zubimendi is said to have been wrapped up since last summer. We didn't make a bid, so maybe verbally. The club are also close to signing Garcia as a challenger to David Raya. Arsenal's target, Joel Hato, apparently is highly rated by Real Madrid, and they're said to be impressed by his ability to play left back and centre back. Bring him to the carpet, man. Arsenal's priority, says Ben Jacobs, is to extend the contracts of William Saliba, Bukayo Saka, and Magalhaes. El Nasser are serious about signing Gabriel. Gabriel Martinelli is also drawing interest from Saudi Arabia. Would you not let him go? Don't answer that. I know you would. But he's another player that could be offered fresh terms. Juventus want to sign Premier League duo Thomas Partey and Victor Lindelof on free transfers. Arsenal apparently are closing on the Espanyol keeper. Garcia is back up. Graham Bailey on Berta has said he's busy on incomings. There is no disputing that number 9 is where most of his time is being spent. It's seemingly looking more and more likely to be Victor Gyökeres or Benjamin Sesko, but that's still not certain. Berta is also working hard on new deals for his own players. One of their main objectives this summer, as well as Zubimendi, was getting new deals done for William Saliba, Bukayo Saka, and Gabriel Magalhaes. Apologies. Talks have taken place with 3 camps. Sane is open to a Premier League return. They're still peddling this one. Boring, man. Again, we're still linked with Hoyton, even though, again, in the last 24 hours, rumors to Real Madrid have ramped up a lot more where he's concerned. We're close to signing Garcia, according to the Independent. Bring him in, man. Brentford are keen to listen, or better yet, open to listening to offers for Visa and Embremo. So that's one to watch. They're linked with everyone. Could be interesting where the futures of Xavi Simons is concerned. Leipzig will not play in the Champions League next season, and actually the futures of Benjamin Sesko. So maybe that adds to something. This doesn't appear to be anything. Marseille are considering a move for Jakub Kivior, according to Foot Mercato. He's on a long list of defenders that they're looking at. Would be a good opportunity to play under De Zerbi, people. So we'll have to see. But again, if he's added a couple more zeros, why not? Real Madrid are pushing for Heinsohn. New talk schedule next week with his entourage. The player's priority is to join Real Madrid despite big interest from Liverpool and Chelsea. Arsenal, Liverpool and City have all made contact over a blockbuster summer move to sign Rodrigo. However, the winger is waiting to speak with Xabi Alonso before a decision on his future. Apparently, almost every dated team at major clubs rate Benjamin Sesko as highly as possible. There are 3 known Premier League clubs who believe the world is his oyster and he can be in the bracket of the world's best forwards within 3 years. Arsenal, Chelsea, Man United. Or it could be Brentford, Brighton, based on the track records, to be fair. Cunha's reps have scheduled meetings with both Arsenal and Newcastle, although he still favours a move to Man United. Team News and Ticks has said, looking at Garcia, it's a bit of a difference at the club. Arteta loves him. However, Berta doesn't believe it's a good use of funds. If they have to manage spending, it's not true that Berta doesn't rate him. He just wants to allocate those funds elsewhere. Apparently, Brighton goalkeeper Bart van Bruggen, he's decent. And actually, Brighton have shown they'll rotate goalies on occasion. He's a shock target for Real Madrid as they look for a long-term successor to Courtois. Real Madrid have also considered David Raya, but that deal would have been even harder to pull off than Van Burton. I mean, does anyone say no? Arsenal get Isak opening, yeah, right? Arsenal have been given a potential opening to sign Alexander Isak. Why? Gyökeres is seen as the more realistic option. Zubimendi were trying to get him. According to the Daily Mail, Eddie Howe's side are studying the possibility of signing Sesko. He's wanted by Arsenal, Chelsea, United, and also Newcastle, who know their strikers have shown it. But only if Isak gets sold. And I mean, naturally, it doesn't mean he's going to leave. But if you're Newcastle and you're dealing with what's happening and you're thinking about one day Isak might want to go Real Madrid or whatever, I need to look at strikers. That's where that comes from. 10 out of 10 on the creative journalism, though. I'll give him that. I don't want to hear about Sane to Arsenal. Yep, we've gone over Zubimendi. Tab police, look away, but you can see we do stuff. Apparently, former Arsenal scout explains why the Gunners turned down the chance to sign Carrot Skeeler in 2022 and brought in a flop instead. Dang. At 24 years of age, he's doing a madness, man, and he was signed for 70 million. Quite a profit on Napoli made on the initial 11. Arsenal's former scout for Eastern Europe, Brzezinski, I tried, was alerted to the potential of KK and his Ruben Kazan teammate, Zeruko David Skrili. I tried. Apparently, he said George's youth team visited Poland. There was a qualifying tournament. My job was to pay attention to other teams. But when you saw them, Carrot Skeeler and Davidsky, we had long discussions with other scouts about who was better. Then I watched both of them in Russia, so I followed their development for a long time. Apparently, he was left unimpressed by how Carrot Skeeler struggled during the game against Dynamo Moscow after the crowd reacted negatively to some poor dribbles. Sometimes, and it's all about timing. He evidently wasn't ready right then. And that's why football's a funny old game of opinions, because life worked out the way it did, didn't it? He couldn't cope with it. These experiences make you stronger, so now you can. He couldn't cope with it. Every next move was bad from start to finish. He got lost. The ball bounced off him. You could see that he had lost his confidence. He overcame it, but if it had continued, it would have been a problem. Being affected by a few thousand people in Kazan doesn't lead to a good rating. Everyone knew he would be mega good, but they wondered how good, whether he would be an absolute top or a bit lower. Few had any doubts that he wouldn't be anything at all. However, at that stage, I had to write how it is, draw conclusions, and write where the problems are. Instead of attempting to sign Carrot Skeeler, Arsenal instead brought in Marquinhos from Sao Paulo. The Brazilian, you got any insight on the notes that were written about him? The Brazilian is still on the Arsenal books, but he has made just 6 senior appearances for the club and is currently on loan at Cruzeiro for the rest of the calendar year. During his time at Arsenal, Marquinhos has had loan spells at Norwich, Nantes, and Fluminense. But it is what it is. And apparently Dortmund are braced to let go of Gittins, people who has been linked with Chelsea, Bayern Munich, Arsenal, and Barcelona. No clue how much all these teams really want him. I'm sure you get the point, man. Real ones, community, mutants, haters, everyone in this YouTube metaverse, sub and smash the likes. Come on, come on, come on. Appreciate that. That appears to be the transfer segment. Sorry for airing you lot. I thought, let me just get that out of the way. Man, waking up in cold sweat, seeing Rice's goals going in from those free kicks. Arteta can't cope with the job as simple as that, DG. Fair play. Sesko is very similar to Gyökeres, though. Sesko is good, but I prefer Gyökeres. He's strong, and you need to be in the Prem. Been that scout. We signed Marquinhos over Cara. This is insane. But man said, forgive. I tried. Listen, I try all the time. I tried, man. I don't mean I try. I'll give everything a go. But yeah, man. At least I went guilty. I tried, man. You're telling me you have all these tabs open and not one of them. This guy's moving mad. You're moving mad. I don't understand. What is a fit gal on Insta? What's that? What is Insta? I just know about Arsenal. Can you play silky football or not? Sesko hype, over hype. Athleticism jumping. Can you play football or not? I hear it. There's too much data. Man's here for the whole stream. Nah, man. Let him stay, man. Football scouting is turning into NBA. They look at every attribute other than being a good footballer. It's system-based and it's athlete-based. That I feel in my 30 years, you actually have, not that you don't have to be good at football, but I think you actually had to have a serious level technically. Now I think you can be like, if you like for academy players, I think you could be a 5 to 6 out of 10 technically. But in this current day, if you're an athlete, 10 out of 10 athlete, physical specimen, you can have a career. Let's not forget Sesko is playing in a 2-striker system, not one. Boy. Transfer season here to kill me. Come on, you Gunners. Shirley was moving mad earlier. She was on fire. Ngoni, hey, you. I'm on you for life. Couple of you. It's all love. Couple of you, I'm on you lot for life because you lot acting brand new. If we make Europa, Isaac won't leave, in my opinion. Look, stop trying, Foxy, stop trying to be humble. You know you're getting Newcastle know they're getting Premier League football. Let me actually see the table. I'm Premier League football. Of course you are. You know you're getting Champions League football. Come on, man. Even us, it's dark for us as well. City as well. Like, you know what I mean, Liverpool? You lot won the league. If you lot could, like, you lot don't need 3 points again. Like, we can maneuver. It's a bit, it's a bit, and that's the only thing there is to play for, really. The league's wrapped up. Everyone who's getting relegated is getting relegated. It's only the European places with a focus on the champs. Ooh, I reckon we get champs, but you know what I mean? There is a world where you kind of limp over the line there. I think, and you lot are, Newcastle got a play check. That's a 6-pointer. Come on, Newcastle. Is it away? Aye, 12 tomorrow. We could get a cheeky watch along in 100%. Again, you lot know I'm not watching. I'm not going to watch Liverpool. If you lot want, do you lot want me to do a watch along for that? I don't want you to waste you lot's time. If you lot say, yeah, I'll stay up after this and get that done. I'm on Magpie for a sec still. And on the 21st of May, you know I did. I'll back Newcastle to do that. Slightly, everyone's probably hoping City was still shit. You lot got that, man. Stop the humble gimmick. It's a fight, though. How do you lot think it goes? It's a fight, though. Nottingham Forest drew themselves out. There was a sec you looked like he was a shooting. Aston Villa have been flying and they've had a wobble, then they've done a quick get back. I think Newcastle have been in and amongst that. Chelsea revitalized their team. City revitalized their team. We're falling by the wayside, and we've actually drawn ourselves out. It's like we're about to fall off something off a cliff. We've pulled ourselves out. And then for some reason, we've got out of danger, and then we've just put ourselves there and thought, let's just hang with 2 fingers. Wait. It's an interesting dynamic. Wolfie needs to get smoked. Big up Wolfie, man. I don't know why. I don't know the context behind that. Forest still have a chance. They had a bit of a wobble, though, man. Nah, man, show you no mercy. Need to slap you, man. I can't stand you, Arsenal. I can't lie, Marcel. I'll be honest. You big yourself up, but what was it? The day after we went on the PSG game, you riled me. I'm sorry, Zubimendi is not a needle mover. 60 million is a waste. Chelsea could finish 6th. Imagine we miss out on Champions League would be the cherry on top of the crap cake. I can't lie, Arteta, you could say he needs to go anyways. If you don't get Champions League football, you're safe, my brother. But fans would flip it. Oh, we can primarily focus on the Premier League. That's my point. Like, there's been different years and different ways to maneuver, and I'm more than willing to talk about them. But fundamentally, 3 very different seasons. This year, last year, and the year before. One commonality in that we didn't get over the line. That's my thing. Rather than be hard on people, let's be hard on the problem, because there's different reasons, and this one is your fault and that one. The only thing I care about is why we didn't win the Prem. How do we get there? I'd only watch the Liverpool game because I'm an Arsenal fan. I don't care otherwise. Fair enough. We're all Magpies tomorrow. Sell Drossard and Martinelli and get Williams and Leao. You know we're not doing that. Marquinhos, absolute pants. Foxy, big up yourself off topic. I don't think I give you your flowers because you're here all the time, my guy. Appreciate that. Marquinhos, absolutely pants at Crazero. Awful. Worse than 35-year-old Balassi. Shit. 3 million quid. Keep Trossard, sell Nelly. Normally it's the other way around, even for the haters, but fair enough. Newcastle beat Chelsea and Everton, draw to Forest, draw to us. Newcastle, don't shoot yourselves in the foot. There's no injuries. I need first 5 minutes. I need Isaac to score ahead of first. I need the game to be a bit cagey. I actually want Newcastle to absorb some pressure. Let them off and path. I need that. I need that. Maybe even let Chelsea take the lead. I need that. I got nothing else. And I saw how the world got at my football club. I'm on everyone. No, I'm not, Jimmy, I'm not tomorrow still. Appreciate you. Are you the same guy that was on TalkSport? I thought you was excellent on there. I'll subscribe. Didn't know you had a channel. Appreciate you, M. What you saying? I gotta promote my thing a bit, innit? I guess you're right. But yeah, you're here, man. You're here. How do you find it? Appreciate it. Absolutely effing look at stats. I meant similar playing styles. I hear that. Tesco. That slander name is horrible if he signs for us and flops, It's nothing like Gyökeres, more like a softer Jibril Cisse. Watch out for Andrea. I'll give everything a go. Apologies, man. Allow me. Adria Bartishvili. That was a decent guy, that. Sabah. This one's a myth. Carb. Oh, that. Because it's Foxy, I know he's not trolling, because, yeah. Karbashvili. I tried, man. Netflix FC or bus. A's to freeze. Haters like on your burners if you're one of them. Come on. Yeah. I tried, man. DG, the people's champion. No, man, I'm not. Appreciate you. Glad you got the chance to link with Clive Palmer. Good show, man. Big him up, man. Need to get him on the platform. I missed the Marquinhos cover chat. What did our scouts bottle this time? Rewind it, man. It's too painful to go back, man. DG, United or bottom dwellers is over. It's over. You're bottom 6 now. DG, what's your expectations for next season? Honestly, I'm tired of finishing season trophyless again, bro. I need silverware, man. In the dream world, Champions League, we get into a semi-finals. The documentaries come out about how this year, which would have been last year, if we fast forward, is painful and win a final. So Prem and Champs double in it. Prem, the Prem has to be the priority. Prem has to be making a real go at the Prem and getting over the line. Champions League, let's try a thing. I'm an Arsenal fan. We should be winning the FA Cup every year. Do that. Win the FA and League Cup because it saves you. I had to, Foxy, even me, I was testing my faith because half of that word, I thought, are they going to try to do the Robbie thing? The Arsenal hate is funny. Some of these statements are just clear draw outs, and if you apply logic, it becomes incoherent. Angelo Steeler, I did a video on him. I'm for him. Even that Southampton game is looking shaky. To be fair, they can't stop conceding goals. They frustrated City today, didn't they? 10 more likes and we have 200, folks. Wait, we're getting Leao. Don't put your hopes in that basket. Why do we have ops when we fumble Carrot at 17? Because a scout said he had some bad touches. Football's just a funny old game of opinion. Tesco is horrible. It's a horrible slander name. I know you was rattled that day. Big up though, my G. It's all love. Game is gay. That's true, man. It's how families fight, man. But yeah, you got under my skin still. Because even me, like I'm reading some of them, I'm like, so it's volatile times. At least I don't run though. The fact Marquinhos is free and Edu voluntarily paid 3 mil needs to be investigated. You know, I hope someone pocketed the piece. At least that means because that means it makes sense. That means it makes sense. If someone did a dodgy brown envelope, at least that makes sense. And you made some peas. I'm be more angry if genuinely Dons were scouting him, saying, yeah, he's lit. Now that's actually a big problem. That season when we signed Jesus and Zini was special. Shame we didn't win. Breath of fresh air. I'm not gonna lie. No, breath of fresh air. Grumble, but breath of fresh air. I'll be real. Out of the 3 years, yeah, where we've got to feel like this, last year is the one where it hurt me the most. Because they violated, man. Come on, man. To the point where they got the Prem over at City's place, our place. I didn't think we'd win the title because I kind of checked out by then. But you do have a tiny 5% blind optimism. Maybe a dream will happen. I can't even remember. Nobody even cares who City were playing last year. But he's hoping maybe they did something. I'm pretty sure I checked. And I think Foden scored. But that's our fault, man. Like I said, the only consistency, yeah, this season, whatever, first year we didn't fight. We just haven't got over the line, man. Like, man. Also, I also think that the only thing that can get the owners to look at sacking Arteta is not getting Champs football next season. Forest have a derby game versus Leicester tomorrow. Derby games, anything can happen. Unless Jamie Vardy could do a madness, I wouldn't hold my breath on that, man. If it's not on attacking talent, anything else is a waste of resources. He said Forest would finish above us. Wolfie, then he's got to answer for them crimes there, man. Zubi is probably the second best DM in the world behind Rodri. Run the agendas. Run the agendas. Run the agendas. All of a sudden, we're going to watch the Euros final again. Controls a midfield by himself, although mainly plays as a pivot. Arsenal, a small club, yet have won the most PLs and most FA Cups, and we haven't won a trophy in 5 years. See how the logic falls apart. DG, we need a Curtis Shaw TV feature. Hit him up, man. Sealer is a German all-timer in the making. When's DG jumping on FM? Back on FM. Make sure you're following on Twitch, man, because as we close out the season, like it makes sense. Soon land, man. I'm known for an improv one. But it was dark, man. Football Manager, I swear I did the madness. I won everything, man. I saw DG on the stream with big boy journalists like Julian Laurens. My son is driving out a shout out with that son stuff, but appreciate that. That was not surreal and pinch me because the next man can't make me pinch myself. But I was sat there. Well, you lot won't see it, but well, you can see the backgrounds. Everyone's in a different place. Like, yeah, it's just computer stuff in here, like computer stuff. But I was listening. I was like, right, like Julian Laurens, like, right, like Julian Laurens. We need to break contact, man. We need to make contact. Jump on that channel because the way he was talking, he was talking in that French accent, and he's like, "Oh yeah, Arsenal, petit," and with you like this, just made me think, right, like, why are we not getting over the line? Ollie Watkins, I hear the trolling thing, but like, bro, I'm the greatest English manager of all time. I suppose that's FM. I don't know how good Zubi is, but I'm genuinely worried about Partey leaving. Not many players can do what he does. Better 6 than Rice, second best in the Prem for me. I hear that, but do you know what? From another perspective, what annoys me is it only feels like we're actively trying to replace Partey or have some other solutions now that he's going, and we never have the replacement lined up for the replacement. Like, I'm not comparing Trent Alexander-Arnold to Conor Bradley and saying Bradley's going to achieve that. But we all know Trent's going. At least there's a guy there. So, like, I'm not saying they're not going to buy another right back, but there's kind of a body there already. I still maintain, and probably going to see him play tomorrow against Newcastle. I know he's ironically had injuries off his own back, but the summer we got Rice, I wanted Lavia as well. That was my thinking. You get Rice, you get Lavia, you got Partey. Now, in hindsight, looking back at that, that was the Kai Havertz experiment thing. I thought Kai was coming in to be a Swiss Army knife and play here, there, and everywhere. Maybe he was, but I believe he was brought into. We tried to make it bang in that left 8, and every obvious reasons, it never happened. Fat pigeons in Soho Square. All right, big up the pigeon gang. Come on, log way in it. Smash the like button. Some of you won't even know what's being referred to as that. And this is why in life you got to be thankful, man. Zubi looks like a wavy 6. Think Partey needs to stay though, so Zubi gets a cool bedding in period. Virtual tick-attacker king. To be fair, I play heavy metal. I play Jurgen Klopp football with Arsene Wenger Shine. Zubimendi, Odegaard in midfield is hilarious. Rice will be working his socks off for that. For working his socks off. That's our starting midfield. Also, Partey ain't taking a pay cut. Lavia can offer what Partey does. To be fair, seems injury prone now, so he offers word for word. Kai's worked out to be a good rotation player, and it is what it is. But we all know we can't do another Kai, and I'm not saying that in terms of Kai because it is harsh. But everything needs to make sense. We can't be spending 65 million on a Swiss Army knife. It's not making sense. There's no point spending 65 million on a bread bin and you haven't got a slice of bread in there, innit? I was in a metal band. Metal is overrated these days. Huh? You crazy. Zubimendi, Rice, Xavi, Simmons as the 10. Boy. We need to play with a double pivot. We get counted on too easily, thoughts. I disagree. But I would like to see other solutions. I would like 2/8s as a double pivot, a single pivot. Rice. I mean, it'd be interesting because Zubimendi can hold his own as a 6 when it's those technical kind of passing games. Would have been nice to have Lavia though, man. Zubimendi, I think you mean Trump's Partey by all metrics. How quickly he can adapt to the league is the biggest question. The biggest and only and most important question, isn't it? Really. But what I would say is, football fans are quite fickle because Partey is someone that most fans would have listened to offers. Now it seems everybody wants him and kind of been inconsistent in their opinions post Bournemouth and PSG. And right now it seems like a no-brainer. And I'm not arguing it isn't. And even if his form next season is rubbish, but the man's still fit. You know how fickle football fans are. Like the same fans that were crying for him to sign a new deal, they'll be the first ones saying, I told you why you shouldn't do that. And this is the game we love, which is football, man. You see, that Tesco slander name is convincing me that we should sign him. He has to bang, or that name is going to run for his entire stay in England. It can only work. I just want to go into next season believing we can score and not rely on Saka to create or score. I think you mean solely, but yeah. Will we change? I don't know. But as we know, if nothing changes, guys and girls, nothing changes, isn't it? It's as simple as that. Got Mahrez over Isaac if Newcastle don't get champs. I trust you, but bro, Isaac's wavy, man. We ain't got no chance. Sevilla will get the price down by half. In relation to Lokonga, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? It's basics. It's a buy option. We know he's gonna have a year left on his deal. Arsenal, loud at TS thing. They can't wait to get they can't wait to get rid of him. Naturally, you're gonna bargain it down. If not that I want Lokonga, but if Arsenal in that situation, that's how we need to move. We're a bit, well, I can't say we're naive, but as an ignorant fan, it seems like we're a bit naive in the market at times. I'm convinced rival fans hate Arsenal more than they support their own team. They show up, and the first thing I think is, why are you here or why do you care? Now they can be here, man. It's all entertainment. Arsenal fans turning into Chelsea fans celebrating transfers like it's trophies. Well, to be fair, you lot can beat us on the football pitch. You lot can't celebrate trophies. Little old Arsenal bottling everything. Zubimendi still said, nah, brother. I don't care that Xabi Alonso was over there. I rate the Everton legend more. Boy. Remember we took Alexis. DG going to cheer my players against Spurs. DG going to cheer my players against Spurs, huh? Is it 100% that Partey is leaving? No. But on paper, his contract's running out. So unless something gets done, he's gone. Would like to see Lewis Skelly considered as a genuine midfield option, or at least a more frequent one next year as well, man. What do you think next season holds for Wanyeri and Lewis Skelly? Any other upcoming players have a serious chance? Looks like it's Dolby realistically, man. There's a couple of players in the 21s, but it's one where you could see with Luke, maybe not how it would pan out at this moment, but you could see with Lewis Skelly and Wanyeri, these lot naturally it's all timing. I think it'd more be a kind of wild card thing. But Wanyeri, I hope you get more football. For Lewis Skelly, keep doing what you're doing. And I've kind of indirectly said that, yeah. But expectations now. Everyone's expected. It's not been a honeymoon phase, but it has been. Like, you've played against Real Madrid, you've started in 2 semi-finals, you've done bare England Cup, you've done bare things. Now there's a certain degree of expectation. They said there's contract negotiations that have begun for Partey DG. Yeah, they have. Hopefully we get it done. Because I think we need to hold on to him for at least a year, a little tying in period. And even if you bring in Partey, like if Partey stays and Zubimendi signs, I hear it. But if Zubimendi signs, Jorginho and Partey have gone, cool, you got a new signing, but the depth. And this is all assuming Zubimendi don't need a bedding in period, which it is what it is in that regards. I'm not gonna lie, I cannot stand Kai. Now that he has his Joss Arteta don't have has his boss, I think you mean Arteta, don't have the brain capacity to use Kai in total football antics, which ironically fits his system. Just sack Arteta, bro. Man, I'm frustrated. Facts, I'm tired of watching games and feeling sorry for Saka because he's the only one with class up front. Smash the likes. We hit 200 likes. Come on. Can Zubimendi do it on a cold night at St. James's Park? I don't know, man. I guess we'll never find. I guess we'll find out if he can play at Anfield. We'll bring him to you. DG, if you got time, check Zubimendi's interception stats. He's not a dud defensively. No, he's not a dud. He's a good reader of the game. He's a thinker's man's footballer. I just wonder if that's enough. DG, start, bench, sell. Ooh, Xavi, Perlo. Xavi, Scholes, Perlo. Start, bench, sell. Oh, come on, man. Come on, man. There's no winners. There's no winners. Start Xavi. That was the easiest one. Paul Scholes. Perlo. Xavi, one of my favorite footballers. Start Xavi. Bench Scholes. Perlo, man. I'm going to let you go, man. There's nostalgia with those two others. Start Perlo, bench Scholes, sell Xavi. Xavi, Scholes, Perlo, in that order. Is it enough with Rice playing next to him? We need bodies, man. DG Berta shouldn't allow Arteta in his business. You just make it happen. You lot collaborate and let's just make the best things happen. Save the 60 mil and push Lewis Skelly in midfield, especially if you want to run a double pivot. Rice, Lewis Skelly would be madness. You can run that anyways. Bring Zubimendi. I think we got to stop trying to force this Lewis Skelly at centre mid. He's playing very well at left back. He is. But we all knew Saka's future wasn't going to be at left back. He eventually was going to change. And it's interesting if Lewis Skelly will be a long-term left back or a centre mid, but I'd like to see it, man. Start, bench, sell, DG, Mahrez, Bell, Salah. Ooh. Start Bell. I took a picture of Bell. Bell's humble. Start Bell. Start Bell. I know he's a pagan. He played for the pagans, but yeah, start Bell. My guy. Very humble guy. Start Bell. If I had to pick a player for Arsenal, I'd say Salah because he's a machine. But start Bell, bench Mahrez, sell Salah. Because then it became who would I prefer to watch. If it was just a casual kick about 90 minutes, I'm gonna pick Mahrez on my team, my five-a-side team. If I want to win stuff, not that Mahrez couldn't. Salah's a machine, innit? Absolute machine. All the left wingers, Gittins, Williams, Leao, we like. Don't track back to help the defense. Could we see a different system? You could, but players got to learn that at some point. They have to learn that at some point. Obviously, look at Grealish. There's that wider discussion around Grealish, but I don't know how many defensive duties you had at Aston Villa. I'd imagine Aston Villa, to a degree, you was like Jack the lad, didn't it? Like, we just want you in an attacking sense. You just do what you're doing. The other 10 will make it happen. At City, everyone needs to stand in certain places, and you do need to track back and do the stuff Pep asks for. Now, no Salah disrespect, but it came to it. Lewis Skelly is only 18. I expect him to make mistakes. He'll be a baller by 22, 23. Calafiori at left back would solve that. Bale, Salah, Mahrez. Anyone else see that MLS has shades of DRB in his game? He's such a wonderful footballer. He plays like, I'm going to say ex-Fulham player. Dembele, forget the club he was at before that. Bale, Mahrez, Salah. Mahrez, extremely underrated and is more easier on the eye. There's no winners with these questions. Mahrez is clear of Salah. Start Salah, bench Mahrez, sell the parasite known as Bell. Damn. In most of these games, Skelly is good at left back, but there are some limitations. Spanish midfielders typically do well in the EPL as they always let the ball do the work and have exceptional IQ. Silva, Mata, Cazorla, Rodri, Fabregas, Xabi Alonso. What we would do with them, eh? We can always just put TT in the time machine, flip it though. Perlo is literally the OG deep line playmaker. We do need a serious 10. Start Xavi, bench Scholes, sell Perlo. Perlo over Scholes any day of the week. My answer is start Xhaka, bench El, and then they sell the rest. This guy's a madman. Absolute madman. Mahrez over Salah is madness. If I was a Premier League manager, I wanted to win stuff, I'm picking Salah. If it's just what I want to see from a baller and all of that, I'm having Mahrez, man. In fact, I'm even though I think that's oh, you know what? Now I'm having Salah. I think Salah's got the better leg. Salah's a bigger player for me, like clearly. Like I think Salah's that, but I like Mahrez as a baller. I've seen you drag in your own way. Leicester, you're doing your thing at City. Just want to watch him play. Like, oh, Mahrez is cold, man. I'll never forgive Arsenal, you know, for not grabbing Jamie Vardy and or Kante and or Mahrez. Xavi was literally the worst of that Barca three. Oi, careful. What, Xavi, Iniesta and Busquets? There was no worse. Mahrez was good for Leicester and Man City. Now he's getting paid. It's what that Madrid paper called Bell. Damn. Yeah, Madrid ran him out, man. Picked a United player fraud. Come on, man. I'm a fan of the game first, club second. Arteta should start leaving one winger up front when the opposition have the ball. Have Rice cover the worker too. Oh, sorry, seen that already. Stop this track back rubbish. The two finalists of the Champions League had fullbacks not even defending. They scored winners. Salah won the league, not tracking back. Stop the defending crap. We are not Everton. Iniesta was a better technical player. Busquets was insane. Listen, there's some debates you can't engage in. Lewis, I don't want to lose you as a mate. Because you're talking crazy. You're not talking crazy in a sense you're talking nonsense, but you're talking mad about Xavi. I get the whole preferring Mahrez as a baller, but Salah's consistency is generational. No one can disagree with that. 100%. But that's where I think it's a shake, because obviously you can have your preference and players you like watching and aesthetics and all of that. But just because a player is not the best pleasing on the eye, I do think people move like Saka and Salah are not entertaining. They're the most entertaining players, 1,000,000% not. And just because they're not, doesn't mean you should let your bias show in how you're judging them as much as you can. No brainer for Dortmund to sell Jamie Gittins this summer. They have Julian Duranville. He's taking a bit of a while to come through, isn't it? Coming through, and they just signed an Ecuadorian talent, Justin Lerma, similar position. They repeat every year. Boy, there's some clubs doing a lot, man. All three were levels on anyone else, TG. I just rate the other two higher. I hear that. No one wants to be Salah. You wouldn't want to be Salah. To be fair, I reckon a lot of wingers aspire to be like Salah. The level of consistency over the years, the decisiveness. I'd be careful, man. Boy. DG, noodle hair, Cristiano Ronaldo, Hazard, Sanchez, start, bench, sell. Noodle hair. You talking about before Cristiano Ronaldo was this talented player and he was just Mr. Do too much with the skills. If you're doing that, which is probably unfair to him, starting Alexis, bench Hazard, Arsenal bias, because somebody said I was wrong for picking a United player. And if it's that level of Ronaldo, safe. If you're talking for me, Cristiano Ronaldo, slightly for me, I think the season before, what 05-06 would have obviously ended with the 06 World Cup. I think the season before that he started changing, but I would say that 05-06 season and everything beyond that, that's when I was like, yeah, Ronaldo's mess, because he had a good season, went to the World Cup. We all saw the whole wink at Rooney and that backdrop, kind of hated by the media, got back to it. The English Man United fans, obviously, they were probably a bit vexed with him when they were in England versus Portugal mode. They allowed it, and the rest is history with Cristiano Ronaldo, man. I agree, we missed out on these Leicester players, but the stage we're at, we probably would have made them crap. Probably. Alexis played like a maverick every 90 minutes. Start Noodle, Ronaldo, bench Hazard, sell Alexis, Sanchez. Salah has no aura, charisma, or personality. He'll be quickly forgotten outside of Liverpool fans. I mean, as long as if you're at Salah and you've been at a club 9-10 years, you probably only care about Liverpool and you care about maxing about what you max in your career, and people can believe that. But I'm suppose that where there's any talks about Premier League legends and whatnot, you might not put Salah in your starting 11, but he's gonna be, them conversations are there. Like, he's done it, bro. I'll always defend the fact that Sanchez is better than Hazard. Come on, Tiki-taka stops winning when Xavi retires. Simple as. Boy. Noodle hair CR7. What is the noodle hair, man? I don't know what that is. I might need to see a picture, because when you're saying it, I think you're talking about Cristiano at the beginning of his career. Morris doing well in Saudi, but ain't no one watching that. Alexis did go back to Udinese. That's when I liked him as a baller. Used to buy him on FIFA. I thought we catered to Alexis too much, in my opinion, and was an overall negative to the team, and it showed at United again. Berbatov, Burkamp, David Silva, sell, start, bench. Easy. Dennis Burkamp, start. Berbatov, I can't play with a neutral hat at this moment. You played for Spurs, Chester United. I'm going to say David Silva, and I'm going to say Berbatov. You played for the Pagans, man. 16, 17, 18, Ronaldo is noodle hair. Oh, he's first then. Oh, I didn't know. Oh, he's first then. He's first then. No, he's first. They're going on. Fair enough. Berbatov in the same sentence as Burkamp is crazy. Start Burkamp, bench Berbatov, sell Silva. Yeah, when he had the highlights, when he was jumping bare high in that, fair, yeah, he's the best out of whatever was said. Cool questions, man. Players have different ability and profile, so it's difficult to compare them. It's true, but we got to humor ourselves sometimes and not be too much of an overthinker about football. It's impossible to rank that Barca midfield three. It's a disrespect to even try and rank it. It's true. Busquets is one of the most amazing footballers I've seen live, man. All of that whole Barca team is they're just walking different defensive strikers. Football is gone. It's gone a long time ago. Gyökeres Matoma will cook for us. Mahrez, top 5 African players. Mahrez won the league at Leicester, won AFCON. Mahrez is clear. I all forgot about all that. Start, sell, bench. Verratti, Thiago, Pogba. Oof. Start Pogba, bench Verratti, sell Thiago. That's what I mean, DG. It's not bad being the worst of a best midfield three of all time. It's not. But I don't know who's the worst. I don't know who's the worst. I'd say Iniesta to be my favorite. But you can't say Iniesta was the worst of a Busquets and Xavi midfield. Same goes for Busquets. Same goes for Xavi. It definitely can't be Iniesta. Let's remember, like with sprinkles of Real Madrid, it was basically Barcelona for Spain. Like it was all that kind of stuff. He scored the winner for Spain. 03, 04 Ronaldo. That's what I thought initially, but I found out it was the Champions League. The noodle thing makes sense. By putting Thiago last in that list is a stinker, bro. How? I know I'm picking Pogba first. Verratti was cold. Thiago, you know what? VAR, you're right. You know, VAR. Verratti is my kind of midfielder, man. He reminds me of Santi. VAR. I pick up the assistant. The on-field ref missed that. VAR. Thiago out. Thiago in. Verratti out. I'm starting Pogba though. Here's a question: would you take Verratti on a free available this summer, linked to all the big Serie A teams? No, because I don't know if he's going to be on this, man. You're in London, you're getting P's, you've won stuff. Are you going to be on this? If it's just purely on footballing ability, 1,000,000%, all the other factors, it's crazy. Verratti is just a fancy on any. You'll be for mad. Thiago, the most press-resistant midfielder. Juventus, Pogba looked like he was going to be the best player in the world. Why do people in the chat this Salah? He is the reason Liverpool won the league and also put in a good performance in the PL. If it's Thiago Alcantara, he starts. Nah. Verratti wasn't Dross technically. He wasn't Dross. But I can't lie. I had to jog my memory of Thiago. I had to remind myself who he is. I was thinking of him in a Liverpool shirt. I had to remember. Ozil had more ability, but he could be put off of using that ability. Temperamental player. Diva. Busquets is the best 6 I've ever seen. It's a funny way to spell Declan Rice. Hey, DG Hazard is the closest player to Neymar. Swear down. Yamal already. Myth. Yamal's closer. Hazard's on his own thing. He's on the gracious ball thing. Doué is closer stylistically. I thought Noodle was when he went with the gelled hair look at United, still baby CR7 back then. That's what I thought. Vardy never wanted to go to Arsenal. He turned Arsenal down like Gerrard to Chelsea. Vardy was close to joining Arsenal, but decided to stay with Leicester. Salah just reminds me of the Dons at Sunday League, always waiting on the last man, waiting for the diag long ball. Is that a bad thing, though, if you're elite at it? Yalmao Musiala and Xavi Simons rate Saka. All three of them are exciting. Speak highly on Saka. Benzema, Suarez, Eto, start, bench, sell. Flipping hell, mate. Eto, Wakanda thing first. I can't lie, Benzema, Suarez still. You don't know how much I love Benzema, Suarez. It's Suarez, man, because I've seen Suarez do some mad things, and Suarez is a bastard as well. I like that, you know. I can't let he's a bastard. You remember when he was in front of David Moyes? He was accused of being a diver. He dived in front of him. The David Luiz finished for Barcelona. Everything he did at Liverpool. I rate him as well because he was chatting in the newspaper. I actually want to sign for Arsenal, so he did his part there. Disgusting finishes against Norwich. Obviously, did what he did at Barca. Another one, reinvented his thing as well. They said he was robbed, he was finished, he was all of this, won a league title at Atletico. Benzema, you're cold, man. But for us, and this is a safe space for Arsenal fans, yeah. I mean, Arsenal fans, for Benzema fans, there was a couple years he was robbed. He done a get back, Ballon d'Or and Skengzema mode and Champions League and whatnot. But there was a couple years he was robbed. There was a couple. DG should be on 12 mil pounds a year, nothing but quality over and over again. I wish, man. Love Arsenal, hate the ops, appreciate you though. Eto was cold. That's why Sunday League, I do that as a celebration. I see him do that. Eto, Suarez, Benzema. Eto start, Suarez bench, Benzema sell. I have to say it. Suarez has to start. I don't know, man. Over Eto. What you did at Barcelona and what you did at Inter, I don't know, man. Eto's my personal favorite. Maybe I'm being biased. I have to put Wakanda first because I do have to remember Suarez was racist. I have to remember. I can't. Slapping myself in the face. We're trying to win the Prem and PL and keep our best players, and these fans are calling for us to sign Semenyo and Eze. You guys disgust me. Damn. Suarez first, bro. He got top goal scorer twice while both Messi and Ronaldo were in La Liga. Suarez was must be a nasty player to play against, you know, an elite bastard. And Ghanaian, sorry. And it's nothing to do with your country or an agenda against Ghana. Like, just in terms of being a bastard, bro, look what he did in the World Cup. Come on, man. Luis Suarez was like Eddie Guerrero as a footballer. Like, he was on lying, cheating, stealing, and he was cold as well. He was a horrible individual, bro. Eto easily at top 15, 20 strikers. I hear that. Robin and Ribery rate the duo. Quality. I think Ribery got robbed of a Ballon d'Or. Suarez bastard, but can't sell him. I have nothing against this guy, but Faisal, I don't know what that means. I've been a Benzema critic for the longest. There was a time there after Madrid sold Ronaldo that I thought Benzema was able to cement himself as the best striker of all time. Benzema had a good career, though, from a wonder kid to still doing it and now getting paid. Eto'o's always going to be underrated, man, especially in today's day and age. Recency bias and whatnot. What an atmosphere. True, I'm North African. I remember the whole of Africa hating Suarez after the 2010 World Cup. But again, I'm sure if the shoe's on the other foot, everyone would have done the same thing. And if you wouldn't, you don't want to win. You didn't want to win. You didn't want to win. You weren't there. And I must admit, I like players with a bit of that about them. Omri had that. Like, everyone's got that. You got to have that. It's Ballon d'Or, not Dior. All right, Ballon d'Or. Ballon d'Or. Okay, we learned something. Alex Song or Partey, Thomas Partey. Shout out Alex Song, though, because he's actually assisted a lot of good goals at Arsenal Football Club. Now, Suarez bit people twice. He's on a different thing. Now, the biting thing, I'm not on it. Especially the Chiellini thing. Like, he's going too dark with that. I completely forgot about the biting. Yeah, he's a mad guy. I've seen him hit himself and dive. Like, you need that, man. What would you pay to get Due? Close my eyes. I got 100 million. The controversy that moment caused stopped players from going on the line and attempting that. It's crazy. He was a madman. Start, bench, sell, R9, Ronaldinho, Neymar. Oh, gosh. I can't do it. They all got unique holidays. Sentiment, everything involved. Ronaldinho first, R9 second, Neymar third. Uncomfortable conversations, R9 first, Neymar second, Ronaldinho third. Dang. Ronaldinho, Neymar, R9. Didn't see R9. Oh, start Ronaldinho, bench R9, sell Neymar. I only see Saliba sign a new deal if we get Gyökeres and Leao Williams, or he gets promised in writing that major signings will be made, or he can be sold to Madrid for 50 mil. That penalty was horrendously taken, though. It was horrible. Imagine the pressure, though. I mean, you're a footballer, national pride, all that stuff, but and imagine the pressure. Imagine the pressure. Man said half a Ribena and a Twix is all I got for doing. It's not going to take us very far. It's like an idiot. DJ, have you ever played football bingo? No, I haven't. I'll always pick Neymar in these types of convos. Most entertaining player to watch. He'll never get his plaudits, bro. He'll never get it. Omri R9. Omri 1 more 2. I mean, I'm not going to fight you for that. I think you're wrong, but I'm mad at you. R9, Dino, Neymar. DG, can you do all-time Premier 11? I can attempt off the top of my head. Ashley Cole, left back. Petr Cech in goal. Sol Campbell. Rio Ferdinand. I'm going to take some people by surprise. Even myself. Kyle Walker. Central midfield. 4-3-3 if I haven't made that clear. Thierry Henry up front. Cristiano Ronaldo left wing. Patrick Vieira in midfield. Next to Yaya Toure. I think. Eden Hazard in the 10. So that's fuck it. No, I'm acting. No, Cristiano Ronaldo. I actually want you to play on the left. Cristiano Ronaldo off the left. Hazard in the 10. Thierry Henry up front. Patrick Vieira, Yaya Toure. Just because I think you're not, bro, we're ripping everyone. Mo Salah. The Mo Salah numbers, Ronaldo numbers, Omri finessing, Hazard poetry in motion, bullies in Yaya Toure and Patrick Vieira, Ashley Cole patterning, Kyle Walker patterning, Rio Ferdinand, Sol Campbell, checking goal. If you can get past all of this, I was trying not to make it all Arsenal-y. It would get too Arsenal-y. I was trying. You think I didn't think Bergkamp in the 10, Perez on the left? I was ready to be shameless and say Lauren right back. Oh, Rooney. Nah, Hazard in the 10 would be beautiful. Rooney would get in, but I'd have to go 4-4-2. It would just be too beautiful. Hazard dribbling, Omri doing whatever, Ronaldo, Salah scumbagging me my numbers. Yaya Toure would be doing madness, no silver or skulls. Bro, I tried a different angle, man. Of course, there's always room for the Rooneys, the skulls, the silver. Someone's always going to get missed out, man. Always going to miss someone out, hey. Campbell, proper ball playing centre back. Bro, Sol Campbell's one of the best. Tony. Like I said, it's going to get too Arsenal. Van der Sar, Ferdinand, Campbell, Cole, Walker, Vieira, Yaya, Lampard, Rooney, Omri, Salah. I get Walker at right back. There was a point where wingers couldn't get past him. I would have said Gary Neville, but you piss me off too much every week. Yaya is really underrated. Never gets mentioned in all-time convos. There's bare guys that could be in this. Silva could be in this. Wasn't even trying to make a case for, well, he wouldn't be in it, but Tevez is one of my more favoured Premier League alumni. Someone's always going to miss out. David Silva. Someone's always going to miss out. No, that's the team Hazard in the 10. Me and boy might differ, but you like the way I play ball, innit? You can see the guys, you can see what I'm trying to make happen. No Scholes, bro. Someone's gonna miss out. Big up Scholes. But Yaya, Toure, and Patrick Vieira, especially in this modern day, with the high intensity and bro, you're not getting. Yaya and Patrick are bullying you with the ball. They're doing their thing going there because I think both, more so Patrick, if I'm honest, they don't get enough credit. When even Roy Keane to a lesser degree for what he does, people just think, yeah, Toure was just, I mean, Patrick Vieira was just fighting. He was fighting, putting the Vicks, dribbling. He'd be top 5 centre mid, sorry, in the world. Yaya bullying with a ball, we're bullying without it, forget it. When they can't be bothered to do dribbling, Hazard's there. If we have off days where we're just playing shit, Salah's getting goals, Ronaldo, hella skills. I purposely missing out the best player, the greatest player that will ever play Premier League football, Thierry Henry. You know what he's done and he would do. It'd be crazy. Man said she was long stuff. Yeah, cheat code. Bro, man, lockdown DM came premise said, yeah, listen, I'm just gonna do skills, bro. Yaya could have played 6, 8, 10 and crazy and all of them. People forget he played in the 09 Barca team. Shout out to him and said, okay, oh man, I see the shifts you lot were putting in. Sesh, Yaya for me. Sesh could be in the combo. But I think I'd have to take, for me, I like my dynamics. Hazard would have to come out. So Sesh could have a, maybe not as a 10. You're the link man in midfield. If I'm honest. Ozil, not in Prem. Scholes doesn't get credit, retired and came back. Scholes gets his credit, man. Come on. My Arsenal 11, Seaman, Dixon, Keown, Adams, Rocastle, Thomas, Vieira, Overmars, Wright, Henry. Team that. Van der Sar, Cole, Campbell, Vidic, Lee Dixon, Vieira, Yaya, Kevin De Bruyne, Rooney, Omri, Salah. Rooney's gonna get a bit of a couple red cards. Yaya, Busquets, not in that 6. Not in that 6. Check Neville. Maybe I'm being biased to Neville, man, because you're annoying me too much. You can be there. Walker's got a claim. Trent's got a claim. Trent, Walker. Who else am I missing? Trent, Walker, Neville. I forgot Perez and Conu. I want to see Scholes, Patrick Vieira, and Silva in the midfield 3. Forget you're not getting the ball. The opposition is not getting the ball. I don't like Neville, but you're there. I don't want to say Neville. I never looked at Neville, bro. Anyone that was there to watch him, you were just a calm, steady Eddie. You was calm. He was part of a great winning team. He was good. But no one looked at Neville. He just was a little weasel that when the handbags are going on, you're like, get him as well. Winterburn. Fair play. I think Alisson is the best Prem keeper of all time for me. He's up there. He's in there. Yeah, he's in with a shout. But Edison as well, to be fair. But nah, man. I think I'm having Van der Sar before you lot. I'm having Czech before you lot. Czech. I think Czech. I don't know between Van der Sar and Czech, but I think Czech's the coldest. Czech was nang. Party at right back better than Neville. For agendas, I'll run that. Petr Cech, Gary Neville, John Terry, Boo, Vidic, Ashley Cole, Keane, Gerrard, Kevin De Bruyne, Ronaldo, Shearer, Rooney. Rooney, I'm reading 2 things. Omri, Cech, Walker, Rio, Cole. Wait, what? Cech, Walker, Rio, Cole, Yaya, Vieira, Salah, Hazard, Omri, Bergkamp. Van der Sar and Czech felt unbeatable at some points in their careers. Czech was a keeper and a half and then some. Yeah, you forgot Vidic still. Gerrard, all-time Prem. I mean, he can be in the debate. Like, of course, Gerrard. Of course, we can be shameless and saying if Gerrard, I'll be shameless. I piss off my Liverpool support friends. I always say Henderson's a better captain than Gerrard. Look what he did. Because they always talk about winning to get pissed off. We can be shameless, but he's there. He definitely in with a shout. But then people can be silly and say, oh, but he didn't win it. It gets done, man. Before my time, but Peter Schmeichel was the best ever PL goalkeeper. My midfield 3 wins games by itself. Rio and Vidic centre-back best pairing. I don't know, but Rio has to be one of the centre-backs. Start, bench, sell, Xavi, and Iniesta, Zidane. Fucking hell. I'm not going to lie, Xavi, you have to hold it, my brother. You have to, bro. You have to. Iniesta, Zidane, Xavi. So yeah, start Zidane, bench Iniesta, Xavi. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, bro. It has to go down to bias. Not gonna lie, I don't rate Gerrard like that. Gerrard overrated. You lot are horrible. You lot are horrible. Horrible. I think Van der Sar and Czech are better shot stoppers, but Alisson is really good at that whilst being able to play with his feet. I hear that, man. But modern day, like Van der Sar would have been a like before he played for United, when he's at like when he was at Fulham or in whatever, he would have been a Brighton keeper, Brentford keeper, them keeper. He would have done that. Czech would be some dodgy robot. They'd be able to do that, man. And look where the game's got. All right, that's cool. But penalty shootout or cup final, and you need your keeper to just do keeper stuff. Not saying Alisson doesn't, but football's getting woke. Iniesta over Zidane. I never said that. Iniesta, Zidane, Xavi. Putting Gerrard in the PL combined 11 is like saying Pogba was world class at United. That's horrible. Alisson is nowhere near Czech as a shot stopper. Many Liverpool saying Van Dijk is the best centre back in the PL era. Is he disrespected? He is disrespected. He's not going to get in my centre half pair, but I wouldn't be mad at someone else. Neville was good going forward and defending. His attitude and personality is what cost him. He's just a right back, man. Well, up until recently, it wasn't cool to be a right back. It's because of people like you. No one wanted to be a right back. No one wanted to be Gary Neville. I would have played for United, but nobody. Everyone wants to be Scholes and this one and that one. Ranked what first or fourth? France 2018, Argentina 2022, Spain 2010, Germany 2014. Well, Germany 2014 is last because they bought Brazil, and I'm a big Brazil fan. We're winning the World Cup next year. That's going last. I'm going Spain first because Massa. And in that period as well, when they won the Euros, the World Cup, and then the Euros, Spain first, Spain first, France second, Argentina third, Germany last. And big up Messi and that, but it was just moist, man. It was just we need to win this for Messi. And I guess if you're Argentinian, if you're a big Messi fan, which I am, it's romantic, and they got the job done and whatnot. But like, Spain was something different. It just looked like not that Argentina didn't look like it, but there were some close games. Spain just on another level. Spain on another level. France on another level. To be fair, the Germans as well, but I'm not going to rate that. Dog walked it. Shout out Tony Adams. Spain easy. Spain 2010, Argentina 2022, France 2018, Germany 2014. It gets a bit too moist. Like grown men, like we need to win it for Messi. We're gonna do it. Everything just we need to do it for Messi. Like as much as I hear that, and Messi deserves that, like it's a bit moist. Spain looked like a club team. Who's the best player outside the top sides in the Prem? For instance, was Wilfred Zaha when he was in the Prem? The best one outside the Prem at this moment, outside the top sides. You're gonna have to define top sides a bit. At the moment, for me, I don't know. Robert Diallo is team 17th. Pogba 2018 World Cup best midfielder in the world. Lampard gets the most disrespect as he's the highest scoring midfielder of all time. I hear it. Spain 2010, France. Spain 2010, France 2022, France 2018. Fair enough. It's interesting how we go about things. Nah, big up David Seaman, but you're not the best. You're not the best. Messi is one of my goats, so I'm biased, but objectively, France had a better team and destroyed teams. Plus, Argentina deserved it, but there was some that Holland game along the way. There were some dodgy decisions. People forget Argentina struggled through the group in 2022. Messi's goal drought against Mexico put them through, which is true, and it's always ironic because unfortunately, when Chelsea won the first Champions League, I'm sure they looked like they're going out of the Champions League at that time. I'm sure Spain lost their first game when they won the World Cup. Maybe even Argentina against Saudi. I could be wrong. Zubimendi, I don't rate at all. But people, well, I've gone over that. How can it not be Spain? Them man won 3 tournaments in a row. Even it was deep on Italy because Balotelli, what was it, 2012? Euro 2012, he dragged them. First time you saw some real consistency and high level from Balotelli and behaving yourself. Spain squad was just different. That Argentina v France final is top 3 games I've watched in the last 5 years. That's up there. I actually think the 2 legs with Inter and Barca are up there. And I'm not gonna lie, there's probably some others, but God knows. Yeah, Argentina lost to Saudi, and that's weird because, as dumb as it is, yeah, obviously the best team wins the tournaments, but does the best team ever? Because I can't lie, if I was a Saudi don, imagine you got Messi shirt. They won the World Cup, but they actually lost to us. That's a story for your grandkids. They never beat us. Saudi Arabia can actually say, boy, you lot never beat us. You can have that. We let ourselves down. We should have won that. Have you retired from ball? Less of that. No. It was the same in 2006. Both Italy and France struggled in the groups. But that's the thing. Italy are just. Spain lost to Switzerland 1-0. They lost to someone. Elise was brilliant for a few years before he moved to Bayern. Still pains me. Oh, that's a shout. That Saudi win was a brown envelope special. That was said, though, that 2022 World Cup final was probably the most entertaining game I've watched in a long time. But it's a rarity now, man. We don't get games like that. For every game like that, there's a million stalemates of inverted fullbacks and all the other BS. Somehow we've been here for 2 hours and 40 minutes. You lot love me a bit too much, man. But I'm going to get out of here, people. Big up yourselves. Appreciate you lot. Want to shower more than anything again. I went gym again because there's nothing else to do. So yeah, man, big up you lot. Somehow we found ourselves doing ranking and doing these informal chats. But yeah, man, enjoy your weekend now, man, and what's left of it. Happy Sunday as well.